Tell them run it up.
What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up.
We'll get there soon enough. What is going on? What is going on? Make sure I got vocals. Two. Yep. Welcome out to Wake Up in Cleveland on a fantastic Thursday morning. We're going to do a little sound check first. Make sure that I'm not like, we don't want a whole bunch of static. So we don't want a whole bunch of static like we did yesterday. So let's make sure we're good. Give me some feedback in the chat so we know. I'm going to check my own sound out right here. Let me know in the chat if we're doing okay. That's right. It is a Thursday. Thursday afternoon, and it's not even afternoon yet. It's still the morning. It is early though. Let me get my my voice in sync here. There we go. It's a little better. So let me know how everybody's doing in the chat. Wake Up in Cleveland. We are going to be talking to the man of the hour, which is Gene Ho. Fix It Gene. If you guys are familiar with screwing up your own stuff. I have no idea why that went on because I'm in internal mode and these are in DVS mode. So that should not have happened, but hey. What's new, right? What's new in life? So, we got Gene Ho, Fix It Gene in the house. Snapback crew. Scam artist. A little bit of everything. This man is doing it all. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about a lot of tech stuff. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about because that's what we do here. Right? That's what we do here. Let's do a little room check. Starting off early, we got John P. Hope everything is good with you, bro. Thanks for hanging out today. That's one of the mods. DJ T Diesel in the house. That is another one of the mods. What is going on? DJ Gemini, Queso, Chrissy Forms. That is the litmus bar for all mods right there. If you were ever wondering how to be a mod, look no further than Chrissy Forms. She is what a mod should be. Unless unless it's unless it's DJ Remark's birthday. And then we drink a lot. And then all the rules, all the things that we say, do as I say, not as I do. All those things go out the window. And Chrissy becomes an internet troll. She's blasting multiple comments, duplicate comments, 70 times, screaming at people. Talking trash. Everybody's got to have their day, right? Their day where they can just be childish, just for a day. Why not? That was Chrissy Form's day. Vulturism in the house. What is going on? I'm seeing we got some Gene Ho people in the house. Good to see you. F105 Darwin. Good to see you. Who else we got in here? We got. See. This is what's great about Chrissy. I'm going through all these comments thinking that the chat is lit. But in reality, the chat is Chrissy. She's all over this chat. But hey, That's what a good mod does. A good mod starts a conversation when there is no conversation to have. So thank you for hanging out today. DJ Island Boy in the house, good to see you. And who else we got in here? We got okay. Let's see if I can get this right. Somebody posted in on my YouTube page about this. I think it's St. Mary's Count MD. I think that's what it is. Mary's Count MD. Tell me if I'm right. Mary's Count MD? Hopefully. Let me know if I'm right, because I swear to God, I can never get this correct, no matter how much I try. DJ Big Roo in the house. What is going on, fam? BSE Music Group. Come on, man. Of course I saw that. As a matter of fact, I was going to release a video on Monday, and that's when all hell broke loose with my internet. John can testify. I was on the internet. I think I was on stream. Well, I was on stream for 20 minutes, maybe 15, but I was off stream at the same time for 15 minutes. So, needless to say, that test didn't go well at all, but I have been testing, obviously. The rain update, or the Serato rain update, is very, very important, because it did add Scratch Bank and fixed a little bit of a couple of quirks, especially in the Rain 72 Rain 12 line. The Rain 12s are working considerably better now, but I'm very happy with it. I'm actually going to do a video today, kind of just breaking down the how-tos and talk about a couple of other things. But yeah. God, it would suck if it was like Thursday and they released a product on Monday and I'm like, what? There's a Serato update? I wouldn't be doing my job. I would not be doing my job. All right. DJ Remark in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Am I still having viewers on YouTube? Well, I think so. Yeah, there's 7 people on YouTube right now. And in all honesty, I wasn't going to even do YouTube today because, well, the things we're talking about are pretty much kind of Twitch related, but I feel like if you're doing any type of streaming, and it could be on YouTube, it could be on Mixcloud, you're going to still need some of the tips that we're going to talk about today. So, yeah, so we're on all of them. I have no idea what's going on Mixcloud. I'm going to be honest with you, because there is no API. So I could be on Mixcloud. Maybe I'm not. And that's okay. If you're on the Mixcloud side, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm sorry you can't be a part of the conversation, but at least you can listen. It's like a read-only chat. you can't be involved, but you can read only. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. DJ Immaculate. There we go. Immaculate, thank you for hanging out today. DJ The Force in the house. Good to see you. Crazy Form says, Gene Hove, Gene Bear. We're going to have to talk about that. Okay, let's jump around here. DJ Island Boy in the house. Good to see you. And one day closer to Friday. Yes, it is one day closer to Friday. Although, in reality, does it really matter that Friday's tomorrow? What is important is for all you Jews out there, like myself, today is the first night of Hanukkah. So we can give all those gifts to the kids and none for ourselves, because That's what happens during under quarantine. We spent all this time literally trying to like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to make sure the kids have at least some, semblance of Hanukkah? Get big in the house. What is going on, fam? Yeah. So basically, we pulled everything together. We got creative with Hanukkah. And look, to be honest, in my mind, Hanukkah's always been a little, and not just Hanukkah. This is all holidays: Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I don't know, whatever you do. I think we go a little overboard on the presents. We set the bar at one point, and then we keep building up and up and up. And next thing you know, you've spent thousands of dollars, and you had a budget of like, let's only spend like $500 total. So this year was technically the first year that I could be like, hey, we're not spending all this money this time. We better be very creative with things. So I think we're nowhere near as high as we were like last year. We're still higher than I wanted to be, because that's the joy of being married. All you married guys will understand this, and girls. You set this budget like, we're not going to spend more than this, and your partner thinks, okay, so that's our starting point. Like, we're not going to spend more than $500. And you're like, okay, $500. Okay, and then what if we need just a little something else? It's only another 100, and then we need 4 of those. So now we're at 900. And let's just, you're like, wait. No, I said a maximum 500. We don't go above budget. We start with the budget and try to go below. Married life. So, so the trick is to start lower than you want, and then have a number that you're comfortable with. That way, when you start low and you end up getting to that number, she wins and you win. DJ Mad Marv in the house. What is going on? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Get big. Hey, thank you so much for coming over from the Mixcloud side. Yeah, I know it's a work in progress with Mixcloud. So one day you will be a part of the fam here. Speaking of fam, I think we're all close. We're all friends here. I'm trying to think of a name. We brought this up like maybe a month ago, and we were talking about what we're gonna name the Wake Up group. Because we don't have a name for you guys. Like, Shortcut was on yesterday, and he's got like the chat mob. I don't know if Remark has anything. Remark, do you have a name for your people, for your crew? But I think we need a name. So throw some realistic names in the chat for what we're gonna call you guys. Wake Up crew. I don't know. Throw some names in the chat. Cleavages. Look, I'm not saying that's off the table. I'm just saying that's not my first choice. The cleavages. DJ Audio One in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Make sure you follow Audio One for all of your listening musical enjoyment. The man is multifaceted. He plays everything, all the way from boom bap to Celia Cruz. So make sure you follow him. And if you are Latin and you just want to segregate yourself to just a Latin vibe and everything's in Spanish, he's got one of those too. And I get on there and I'm just jealous the whole time. like legitimately jealous. Like, are you serious? Are you really speaking bilingual right now? Talk about pulling in a whole nother section of people. All I got is English. This man's speaking. I mean, you know, the Latin population is humongous. It's like Twitch Telemundo. I don't know why I'm always a little more spicy on Thursdays. I don't know why that is, but it's just the way it is. I don't know. Yeah. So he says, "Wake up, crew." Okay. I'm okay with that. The woke group. You know, if I called this channel my people the woke group, you know how many people would just leave the stream automatically? Nobody wants to talk about it. They want to be about it. They don't want to talk about it. It's one of those weird things. I support you, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people to know I support you, but I don't want people to know that I support you. Don't ask me why. That probably was multi-level there. Enjoying the interview. Yeah, thank you. The Force says, what? Terry's? Maybe terriers? I don't know what that means. Terry's. DJ Blazing in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you. Melody in the house. What is going on, fam? I thought I saw you up there and missed it. So, make sure you follow Melody. That's Beat Junkie's crew right there. And as he said it, he nailed it. You know, happy wife, happy life. This man is so dedicated that he's got emotes of his wife. That's a happy life right there. Okay. I mean, talk about doing it all together, you know, and actually on his stream, his wife mods, but she doesn't mod. I mean, she is the MC of the show, and he's got, she's got the good microphone, and then he's got the one that like they found in a closet. You know, I need another microphone, and they found it is wired together, and they have like 12 wires connecting it to make the mic work, basically like a headphone microphone. And she handles business. She handles the business. He barely talks. He's not allowed. She's got it. She handles it. Oh, maxed out credit cards later. You know, I wish I could say that it had anything to do with shopping, but you know, when you're not working, hey, I assume there's a lot of maxed out credit cards. Milky. So here's the thing for anybody that wants to know, we don't do reward points on the wake up show. We only do those on the musical DJ shows, the pop-ups. So I won't even see them, but thank you. DJ Loco Lopez in the house. What is going on? Just trying to get everybody. DZ smoking that thing in the house. Good to see you, fam. And did I miss anybody? Let's see here. All right. The CT crew. That's, you know, I don't, yeah, I mean, that is what we are, but I feel like, I don't know. We need something catchy. We need a real catchphrase. The CT crew doesn't really like come off. I mean, we can do better. I have faith in you guys. DJ Stress TV in the house. Good to see you, fam. Jetpack bags. Make sure you follow that man. All right. All right. Last but not least, anybody? Mike Carbonell in the house. Sorry, I missed you, man. Mike Carbonell in the house. What is going on, fam? Good to see you. And I think we can bring on. I don't even need to say it anymore. My people know. Squad in the house. Wake up. What is up? EA 492 in the house. DJ Jorge Blanco, Cleveland Terry crew. Too long. CTC. Doesn't work because it doesn't translate well. I need it to translate well. You know, because like wake up crew, which we might end up with because it just, oh, that's the wake up crew, and it just kind of makes sense. I don't know. I'm partial to wake up crew. That's where I am right now. So unless something pops up better than cleavages, it's probably going to be wake up crew. Spin stream is great. There's no issues with spin stream. So you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, it's really essentially a rewrapped black hole, which is open source, and but it does a really good job. Okay, let's bring on the man, because I do see him sitting in the green room, and he's been there for a while. The Terry Squad sounds dope. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling Terry Squad. I don't know. Terry Cloth. Yeah. It has to kind of make sense. Let's just leave it that way. All right. Diamond Lee in the house. What is going on? Terry Gang Gang. Terry Gang Gang. Giggity Gang Gang. Okay. Let's bring on the man. Just so you know, and by the way, what's going on? Joe Cortez, 808. Good to see you. Just so you know, Gene Hove is like, he's like the man behind the curtain. So a lot of these people, a lot of DJs out there that you walk and you're like, wow, your setup is dope. And wow, everything's so crisp. And look at how amazing this looks and all this stuff. And you think it's them? No, a lot of DJs don't know anything about technology. So they bring on a man that we call Fix It Gene, aka Gene Hove. And Gene Hove has been around. Look, there's a reason that there is an emote called Fix It Gene. So we're going to bring Gene on in just a second, and we're going to talk about tech. So if you guys have any questions specifically about, streaming and computers and, all of these types of things, look, I know stuff, but this is literally like Gene's side hustle now. So, this man knows all. He is one part of the Snapback crew. He is technology genius. He is Gene Hove, and we're going to bring him on right after our usual scheduled commercial. So we're going to make sure everything's good. I'll see you in a second. Okay, look, I know you think this is a little weird that we're sitting here talking and I just left and I was in a completely different outfit. Well, that's future me. I'm past me. So what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about while they're setting up for this next guest that's coming on, and I'm sure they're going to be dope, but I want to talk to you a little bit about ways to support the channel. You see, there's a lot of work that goes into this channel, and the only way to keep it going, the only way to keep bringing on new people and upgrading the sets and upgrading the intros is by you supporting me. So here's a couple of ways that you can support me, and I'm not sure that a lot of you know this. If you're new to Twitch, you want to look down right here. There's a little subscribe button. That's the easiest way to support me. It's like $5. It's like buying me a cup of coffee. If we're at the bar, you're buying me a beer. If you're feeling a little more generous, maybe you want to gift somebody a free sub. If you are a Prime member, you can use your Prime membership. You get one per month. You can use that on me. It doesn't cost you anything. Now, if you're sitting there on the YouTube side, you can also hit that membership button right there, or you can give me a super chat and then send me off a tip. Look, I know that times are tough, money's tough, and I know that what I'm asking for some of you people might be a little too difficult. So there are other ways that you can help the channel. You can host the stream, share the stream. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, share the stream to everybody. Get the word out. That's the easiest way to help me out, and that doesn't cost you a dime. Those are just a couple of ways that you can do this. I think they're coming back, so I need to get out of here. Just remember what I said. We'll see you soon. Bye. All right. Why are we blank here? We should not be blank. So let's get this off because that doesn't make any sense. That is very bizarre. Okay, what's going on, Mr. Gene Hove? How are we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Cleveland.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, not a problem at all. So real quick, I do want to answer this one man because he said it while we were sitting here. Okay, Superior is one of the 3 mainstreams in Cleveland, Ohio. So the Superiors are Cleveland Rockers. Okay, I get the reference. I completely understand, but I am not from Cleveland. So nobody's going to understand that unless you are from Cleveland. Cleveland is my first name. Cleveland Terry Bowens. So any city reference is not going to work for most people. So that's why the Wake Up Show makes sense. Okay, back to Mr. Gene. And I had your logo on here, and for whatever reason, it did not pop up. So we're going to go old school. And let's take off some things here. So anyway, how you doing today, pal?
Doing great, thanks. Just
Good.
waking up.
So I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I'm just waking up.
You do a lot of late night shows. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed, like you'll start up at like 1, 2 in the morning sometimes. Like what is that about?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm in the mood. I'm like I want to play something. I'm here stuck at home, so can't sleep. So I just jump on Twitch. I'll go on for a few hours, play some slow jams or R&B. And
And it's always interesting to me because when you do slow, like for us, it's late at night. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna do some slow jams.
Mhm.
But then we don't realize, or we do realize that like there's a whole nother part of the country that for them it's like 8 o'clock at night or 2 in the afternoon, and it's one of those things where I know that physically for me 2 o'clock in the morning I can't play hype music. It doesn't make sense, even though for somebody else it might be the middle of the day. You know what I mean? So that's a
Yeah.
little weird.
No,
So
you're right.
so now, Gene, you were a DJ first.
Yes.
I guess we should probably back up. So you're a DJ,
Yes.
but yet you do tech stuff. Now, did you do any type of tech related stuff prior to COVID or
Yes,
quarantine?
I have.
Okay. So was that your day job?
Yes. So I used to work in I used to sell computers and also tech people and build computers back in this is I might seem old, but like this is like 15 years ago.
Okay. Nope.
Yeah, I
Trust
used
me.
to work in a computer company where I would help out like corporate companies.
hmm
Yeah. So
So,
and
so you were
hardware.
basically like a hardware
I
consultant.
work.
So
So if you guys know like the CDW, or are you familiar
yeah.
with those companies? Or I worked for a company called Global Computers out here in Compton. But it is
Okay.
Compton. There's an industrial side in Compton. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
I mean, in my previous life, before I started the DJ company, uh, what I did, I was a revenue enhancement consultant.
Oh,
So
okay.
I literally spent time. All of my clients were cities. So Compton was one of my cities. I think, strangely or ironically enough, one of the reasons that I was even hired into it was because it was a government contract,
Oh,
and they have to have like diversification,
right.
and I don't think anybody would go to Compton. I think that's why they hired me on, was to go into all those things. But yeah, but people don't know this. There is a lot of distribution hubs in Compton, like a lot of corporate it's weird because you don't think about it, but every time you're driving on the freeway and you look to the side, you see all those warehouses and storage, like they're all in Compton.
Yeah.
But people don't know that. They just see the movie and they freak out.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I did work there, and then I also worked at AT&T as well
Okay.
for a good
Mhm.
10 years, selling fiber lines, so in the cloud. So I'm familiar with everything, with how internet works, and because I sold to corporate companies, so business
Gotcha.
account managers.
Gotcha.
I know how like so that's my background. That's I knew all about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So so as Callie said, you're IT. This was your thing.
Yeah.
Now you were doing that, 15 years ago.
Mhm.
Then you moved into what? What were you doing for the past? What were you doing? What were you doing before quarantine?
for quarantine. So I had my own company. So I worked at AT&T all the way up to 2013, and then I quit my job because I wanted to go. I was sick of it, so
Hmm.
I started doing an events company. My company called Higher Ground Events. So I was
Okay.
doing a lot of light, kind of like what your company does, your
Hmm.
Check One Enterprises. So we did a lot of,
Yeah.
but we were more like towards like corporate. We produced a lot of the shows, like
Okay. So
corporate,
yeah,
right,
you were basically the company they would call when they needed. Oh, you bring in the sound, bring in the lighting,
online.
all those types of things. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, well, that's actually a good thing. So when you hit quarantine, were you how were you confident that we were going to be able to pop right back up? Like how did quarantine affect your business? I mean, mine just basically stopped, but for some there was a little bit of like residual work, but how did it work for you?
Oh yeah, it completely stopped for us. So we're like, man, what do we do? How are we gonna pivot? So we got rid of a lot of our like our vehicles, and then our office. We had to close that down. We had to bring our expenses down. Really, so it affected really bad. So that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, I understand that the closing things down.
Yeah.
We're doing this right now. Uh, which is funny because it's not funny, but I haven't been as focused because I know that when people call me, it's either they want money back
Yeah.
or there's some like ridiculously small event that, doesn't help at all, and so it used to be where I was the one on the phones all the time. Anytime somebody would call, I would be the one that answered. But now that we're in this thing, I have to like, I'm still training Paris to like, no, man, hey, handle this stuff too. This is equal opportunity now. We're both just sitting, and if you have the opportunity, answer. But it's a tough situation out there right now, and even with vaccines, I was really excited about vaccines. And then I found out that America decided not to buy more vaccines than they needed. So we're going to be pushed out to say June to when like everybody can be vaccinated. See, I was hoping that like people would be vaccinated by like, you know, February, March. And then that way summertime events, like those things will start to pop off again. Because in California, we're not open. There might be Texas, there might be Miami and Atlanta. Those people are all open, and vaccine or not, they're going to party. But
Right.
we, California, we're nowhere near that. And so I mean, what are your thoughts about us getting back to normal?
It's still going to be a few years. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, a vaccine. It's like, I mean, they'll roll it out, but it's going to be a slow process. I mean, I've been reading up on this, and it's just like, yeah, I see I'm aware like what's going on, like people's opinions and the facts about the vaccine. And then I have some people that are like want to pay top dollar for the vaccine.
Right.
Yeah, just so
Yeah.
they want to live the normal life. Like
Hmm.
people miss traveling, people miss going out, party, hang out with their friends, with their families.
Well,
It's just like stopped to a halt right now.
right. And it's interesting too because a lot of people, not to get too sciencey on you, but a lot of people think that once they get the vaccine that they can just go back to normal. But
Oh yeah,
that's actually not the reality because
no,
the vaccine doesn't kill the virus. The vaccine just stops the virus from killing you.
yeah,
So all the little things that that the virus would do to your body and your airways and all these things, uh, it just prevents it from latching on. So anybody else, so if you have the vaccine, you still have to wear a mask. You
yeah,
still have to protect yourself because you can still infect other people. You're
yeah,
just not going to get sick. So this is the weird catch 22 about this whole thing. if everybody gets vaccinated, then yeah, that we can kill this thing like that. But not everybody's going to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I
Some
agree
people
with
can't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, the couple of years back to normal is like 100% true, because we might be working again, but to assume I'm vaccinated or not, and I'm actually I'm in one of the trials, not the not like the first wave trials.
Right.
I'm in my uncle is a he is a what do you call it? This is what he does for a living, and he's been involved with the test since the beginning. So he's like, there's a trial. This is not first phase. This is third wave. It's proven to work, but now we need to put people on, some with placebo, some without, and then that way they can really figure out, how efficient it is, how effective it is, I should say. So I'm actually getting a shot in the next, couple of weeks. I'm going to be one of those.
Wow.
I'm scared a little bit.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck is right. All right. I mean, but they've already, like I said, they've already gone through all the side effects and all that stuff. Now it's just to see, how it works on the masses. That's all. But without releasing it to everybody. DJ Icy Ice in the house. What is going on, fam? DJ Icy Ice, DJ MC2J Man in the house. Good to see you, homie. Thanks for hanging out today. The ELO show in the house. Let's see who else we got in here. Boogie Boogie LA. What's going on, fam? What's going on? Notice Boogie. I still don't have the new logo. Anyway.
Yeah, Boogie. We'll get to it
So
eventually.
I know. He always does. So let's talk a little bit about okay. So we move over to in quarantine. We start DJing. Everybody has this, mass movement to IG,
Yeah.
streaming on IG with their iRigs and or OBS, and some people on Facebook. Where did you go? Were you DJing in the beginning, or were you just, kind of watching from the sidelines?
I was actually watching on the sidelines. I was like, so I was on Snap. So I saw people starting the stream on IG,
Mhm.
right? So one of them is Snapback, the Snapback crew. What's up, Snapback crew? I see you guys all in here in the chat room. Stubbs, the captain, Icy Ice, Remark. And so so I started seeing them. I was like, wow. I saw them streaming on IG. I was like, but it was like when I'm watching, I'm like, damn, this is dope. Like, and then but I see people coming in there, engaging and talking in the chat rooms, and then I was, but at the same time, like, and then there's problems too, of course, like, oh, how the sound drop, or they got cut off, and
Right.
the
Yeah.
pic quality and everything. But other than that, yeah, but it was just awesome. So from there, I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to get on. So I started
Okay.
to, like, figure out like how to. So I started digging deep and started seeing how to get like a perfect like sound, and that's how I am. I just get into it. I started going to YouTube and I started seeing your YouTubes about
I got a couple.
time. Yeah. And of course other YouTubes, and at the same time I'm reading up on this stuff just to see
Mhm.
like how to kind of perfect it, or just to make sure you get a good show, stream. So yeah, so that's where I got into like this the streaming aspect of everything, and
Mhm.
we'll talk about
So
that, like me pivoting into that to that.
see, look, Gene Ho was running my show. He's like, we'll talk about that later. You keep on with your stuff. We'll talk about that when I feel like I want to talk about that.
My
So
bad.
I'm kidding. Stubbs is Chief Rock in the house. What is going on? Stubbs is lurking. Stubbs, for all that don't know, so Snapback Crew is a conglomerate of DJs, and obviously Icy Ice and Remark and Gene Hove and Stubbs, and Stubbs is like the man behind the curtain also for like Snapback, and every time I try to bring him on, he's like a high profile guy. He's working business. He doesn't have time for me. So he hasn't been able to get on. But at some point we will have Stubbs on. It might be like a strange ad kind of just side event, but we'll have him on there. So Stubbs, thanks for hanging out, even if it's in lurk mode today. Okay, so you're streaming. Obviously, Snapback is going.
Yeah.
Because I know you had a couple of guest spots on there too, and
Yes.
Snapback has a as I've said before, Snapback has an amazing brand, and the people that are connected to the brand are amazing people, and the fact that you guys kind of move in a group is what makes you guys so strong, because a lot of people don't move in groups, like, oh yeah, I'm a part of this group, and then but yet, hey, anytime there's an opportunity, they're looking over there and got one foot over there. Snapback's always like, oh, there's an opportunity, okay, well, we want to be involved in your opportunity. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's not a one person thing. Snapback is like an entity. It's like Snapback is a person. So you take all of Snapback or you take none of Snapback. So so all right, so let's talk about a little bit about streaming. So there's a lot of people on Snapback, and you guys were originally on IG. So Snapback Live was an IG thing. You had your lunch tables, and then your evening events and all of this. On IG, you were all over the place. Snapback was everywhere. Snapback was DJing like all day long. Now you moved over to Twitch, but prior to that, when you were streaming, at what point? Because it seems like with all of these people, that they're all going to need help. So at what point did you find yourself starting to like give more and more advice to people, and then start actually making recommendations, and then actually fix it Gene? Like, at what point did all of that actually start? Probably with Remark, probably with DJ Remark.
Actually, no. It actually started with Icy Ice.
Okay.
That guy does not know nothing about technology. He would always come to me. Yeah, prior to that too, I actually worked at so Icy Ice had a record store back then. Called Stacks, and I actually helped put all the tech stuff in there, all the computers, and wired the stuff out there.
Okay, gotcha.
They would always call me if they need anything technology. So yeah, Ice is clueless about that stuff. So of course, he doesn't need to know about that stuff. That's why you designate other people, or no other people. You build your team. But we'll talk about that. Yeah, but so anyways, Ice would hit me up. Hey, how do I connect this stuff? How do I do this? How do I do that? I go, it just comes. It's funny. It just comes. These stuff just comes naturally to me. It's like, you got to get this, you got to get that. This is on IG, and
right.
So you can get like a good sound, like sound coming in, and that's how it all started. It started with him.
Gotcha.
And then he started talking to I guess he started talking about the crew. So prior to that, I was not in Snapback yet, but they were all my friends. I knew everybody there. And Stubbs used to work with me in my company. So that's how we started talking, and I started talking to him about tech and streaming. That's how they started talking to me about like the computer stuff. That's where it all came about.
Gotcha. So okay, so you're working with Ice, and obviously the relationship between you and Stubbs, and it's funny though. Snapback has a way of making you feel like you're part of Snapback, even when you're not on Snapback. You're just kind of like, that's where I am. So okay, so you start working on Ice, and I actually remember there was a night, and it was like an evening, and Ice was having serious tech troubles. I think this was before he got his whatever new computer. And I remember the look of like just rejection, and remember, because we're like, somebody find Gene, fix a Gene. Yeah, and he was just like, I'm done, and then he got off the stream, and we were just like, damn, like this really just hurt Ice. But then he came back stronger because of you. So I want to talk a little bit about what you do as far as your recommendations. So how do you how did it start where you were like, okay, look, guys, this is what you need to buy. You did the research.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, I
So
know you're a
that,
tech guy, but
yeah. So I figured out. So Ice was on a Mac back then. He was actually
yeah,
streaming on just one computer. So I was like, oh my gosh. So, but the first thing was actually it was the internet that was the problem.
okay,
So that's why you're seeing a lot of dropouts in his
hmm
upload speed. He has a Wi-Fi down there. He's using Wi-Fi. Um, not it's not hardline, and he. I told him you need to get something like a Google what do you call that? The Nest? No, not the Nest.
oh, okay. Like Google Fiber or something.
No, the Wi-Fi. Oh my gosh, I even have it. I'm like blanked out with that name right now. It's like the Eero.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah. The mesh system.
The mesh system. Yeah. So he had the.
Yeah, okay.
So he had. I told him get the mesh system. Because he had his internet was fast over there. Like his upload
hmm
speed was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, but the thing is, his router was so far,
Right.
so far from his it was like upstairs in his room, hidden in a closet.
hmm
And I said, you know, you need to get like a mesh system. So because sometimes he does not want to run the wire.
Of course.
To this point, he does not run a hard wire, and then his streams is still clean. So he uses a mesh. He uses a mesh system at his house, and then now that's what fixed the problem.
Wait, he doesn't even go hardwire
No,
from the mesh?
no, not at
Oh
all.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, for people that don't know what a mesh system is, basically, think about a mesh is like a extender on steroids. So before mesh, there was Wi-Fi extenders, and you put one in down the road from your, a couple of rooms down, and it would take that internet, that bandwidth, and it would just shrink it to all hell. But you'd have internet in a room that you didn't normally have it. The mesh systems keep the internet speed as close to what you're paying for as you can, and yet you can put them across your entire home. I live in we call it a compound, and because it's my house, and then my father-in-law built the house behind us, so it's a pretty big piece of land, and we have a mesh system, and literally the mesh starts here, and then we have five Orbeez around the entire place. It's like the whole entire complex has internet now, and he hasn't had an issue whatsoever. So that's actually really interesting. So for people that are having trouble, you need to start investing in a mesh system that will save your life.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe you can tell me this, since you're IT. What is it with building out network support, network systems, and putting them in the closet? Why they did the same thing with my father-in-law's house. All the network stuff is in the closet, and I'm like, well, that's great, but you still can't use it without putting up other Wi-Fi things. So
Oh,
why do you do that?
well, no. Actually, the reason why it was in the closet because that's where the closest the box was for the to plug it in.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
like,
Okay.
wow. Like, and then the other one downstairs, he was telling me was like it was hidden behind the TV, so you can't get back there. So he
Yeah.
didn't want to call, you don't want to call an electrician. That's more money to like run a
hmm
wire and this and that to make it clean. Because I know some people don't want to have like a wire hanging out. Some people want to
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you don't want like oh I gotta run, just have the wire running through your hallway.
Right.
people don't
Yeah. I
people
mean,
don't
the
want,
cleanest thing is if you can build it into the walls and just
yeah,
have a
absolutely.
Ethernet port.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's
Um.
probably it was just how it was built.
Yeah. Now, somebody was asking, GJ Network is asking, what was IC's upload speed?
Oh man, it was 100 gigabytes.
His upload was
Upload
100.
upload.
Oh my!
Yeah.
What is he? What Ice? What are you on?
Oh, he even got it higher too. It's like at 500 now.
His upload.
Yes, his upload.
But okay, what is he running? Because I've never even seen anything that high without paying like
Yeah,
that's like
so he's
T1 lines.
he's running the
W-
fiber. There's a fiber line to the house. The
Uh,
company is called Frontier. Well, it used to be owned by.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean
I'm so
you can
jealous.
actually go up. You can go up to one terabyte. One,
One gig,
I
give me
mean 1
gig,
gig. I'm
not
sorry,
terabyte.
not one,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
per
yeah.
1 gig, right? So yeah, he got
That's
500 megabits per second. Dude, that thing is
that.
so fast. Yeah, I've
Meanwhile, I'm
used
sitting on my 20 megs,
same here.
and
I'm
I'm
using
so
20.
and I'm yeah, I'm like I'm happy. It's better than I had. And he's like he's like baller, just passing out
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, it's so fast. But even though it was funny, even though he had the 100, the 500, it was still not. He still had problems with the Wi-Fi because he didn't have the. I mean, not the
The
500, the
mesh.
100 because he didn't have the mesh
Yeah.
because it was so far. So that
Now,
it really matters in how everything, all the connections are.
now I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know there are different mesh systems out there, but I thought the Orbi, the top one, maxed out. Doesn't it max out at? I guess it maxes out a gigabit.
Yeah, it maxes at a gig.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. I'm jealous of you, pal. Like I'm super jealous of you. I need to know. By the way, I'm just out of curiosity. What does it cost for even like the 100 meg up? What does it cost? Do we know?
You tell me, Ice.
Yeah, ice. Let us know what AT&T fiber, $50 a month, 1K download and upload. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So let's talk about uploads. So if you guys are
Yes,
streaming,
please.
so internet is so since we're talking about internet. So upload speed, we don't care about download speed. We care about upload speed when
Mhm.
we're streaming because we're pushing out content out into the to everyone to watch you guys. Internet, you should have at least minimum 5 megabits per five. I mean 4 or
Yeah.
5. Yeah, I mean, if you're not going into like video, but if you're doing a lot of video content running in there, like and with a great cam and everything, you want to push it. You want to go a little bit higher, like probably like 10, 15.
Mhm.
I mean, I same with you, Terry. I have up to 15 to 20 gigabyte.
Yeah.
It fluctuates. Yeah,
Well, and that's why you set a minimum of 5.
yeah,
And I always tell people 8
yeah,
because since it does fluctuate, you want to have a little bit of padding because if somebody's getting on and they have 5,
yeah,
the moment like anything pops up on your network, you're dropping
yeah.
down to 3, and you can't DJ, you can't stream off of 3.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so 5. Okay, all right.
Well, here's the
Um,
one, so the one oh so if you have so now it's providers too. So we're gonna come down
Mhm.
to providers. Spectrum, right? Spectrum does have fiber, but it's still run out of as a cable. That's I'm going really techie, but it's
no, it's
different.
cable coaxial. It's
It's
okay, I get you.
So
Yeah, they can
so
Google.
it's still shared around the neighborhood. So like if a lot of people are on around that time, so that's why you have the peak hours and the unpeak hours. So you'll know like why your internet your upload speeds is kind of like going down. And also it
Mhm.
also if people are in your house using the internet too, so it could probably bog down what you're using because it's gonna there's I don't think there's priority sets. You can you could actually do priorities on mesh,
Yeah,
like who gets it first for internet. So
I,
you could
I
like
I need to do that myself
stuff like if
for
there's
my Orbi.
oh yeah, so if you have kids or like a wife, they're watching TV, and then
Yeah.
and then you could prioritize yourself first, and then they can watch TV second. I don't know, something like that.
Well, it's funny because like if anybody's on Spectrum and others might do this too, but like Spectrum is their DVR stuff is all, even though it's on your storage device, it's still cloud based. So the
Right.
moment you start watching anything off the DVR, it's pulling up and down from your
Yeah.
internet. So it's one of those things like my wife was watching on we have a Roku TV.
Right.
And when I started having all the problems, I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I remember turning off the TV and watching my internet shoot up by like 100 megs down. And it was like, okay, so it's just, it has to communicate, and they're all talking to one another, so they're using up, your bandwidth.
Yeah.
So okay, so you said a minimum of 5. And for a lot of people, if you have family, if you have people in your home and you're all sharing the internet, you need to double that,
Yes.
just to be on the
Yes.
safe side.
Yes.
Because I mean, I don't know about you, but my kids don't watch, and I don't even know if you have kids, but my kids don't watch regular TV anymore. Everything they're doing is on their devices, their iPads, their iPhones, their computers. So the TV thing, using the coaxial for TV is, I don't even know why we have it. It's all wireless now.
And
And
here's
yeah,
another
and
thing,
it,
Cleveland.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you. Maybe your kids are playing games.
oh,
Right? They play
100%.
games. So games
Yes.
take up a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, the only good thing about what he is on, he's hardwired. He's hardwired in right at the network, so
Right.
it's a little better that way. But still, yeah, the moment he's on games, it's like I can literally watch everything just fall apart on me. So you know what? That's actually a good point. So bandwidth is very, very important.
Right.
But also, I guess let's talk a little bit about OBS and
Okay.
why people may struggle with the lower bandwidth, because OBS, for a lot of people don't know, OBS is like bandwidth intensive.
Yes.
And they think, oh, what's wrong with my processor? It's your bandwidth. So can you talk a little bit about why OBS requires so much bandwidth, and what are the reasons that it may require, that amount?
Oh, for the OBS. Well,
Uh-oh.
what happened?
Hold on, that's me. I can't hear you anymore, or maybe you can't hear me. So hold on. Huh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? I cannot hear you anymore. Where'd you go?
Oh, really?
In the chat, can you hear Gene Hove in the chat? Let me know if you can hear Gene Hove in the chat.
Hey, what's up, chat room?
Okay.
Yeah, I see a lot of people talking about, Ethernet this, that. No, it's fine. You can have Ethernet running, but we were talking about the mesh system. Nothing wrong with the mesh system.
All right. Let's go this way. You there?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. So what was I saying? Oh, so the mesh system. Yeah, I don't have I love the mesh system, and people are talking about, moving up to like the mesh 6 system, because there's different levels of mesh. I don't think, for the most part, most people need the 6 system. It's a lot more money.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see the benefits of a mesh 6 system, I think, for years.
Right.
And by that time, there's going to be something better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so I know I lost you, but we were talking about the OBS and bandwidth.
OBS,
Did you yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. Why it matters, why OBS, I guess, drains so much.
Oh, so think of OBS. You know what OBS is. So OBS is your controlling for for your video. It's like your broadcasting software program. Why? So you're asking me why it takes a lot of bandwidth?
Yeah, because there's I always get like 2 different things. One, my computer is glitching left and right, and then you look at the computer and you're like, your computer's fine. There's no reason that you can't run a stream through this.
Right.
And then it comes down to their bandwidth. So why does the bandwidth in OBS come off almost like a processor issue? It's a very weird thing.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I don't know. Okay, I could probably that's a hard question to answer, but what I can say is there's actually different OBSs out there. There's the OBS Live version, and
Okay.
then there's the Streamlab version.
Right.
Streamlab.
Correct.
See, I can see you're
Yeah.
using Streamlabs. It's popping up in the chat room. But are you using Streamlabs or are you using OBS Live?
I use them all. So,
Okay.
so for this, I use StreamYards
Yeah.
because of the interview process.
Right.
I used OBS because in the beginning of quarantine, Streamlabs had just come out with their Mac version,
Right.
but it was still kind of glitchy and
Yeah.
processor heavy, so I didn't use it. And then I moved over to my ATEM after a couple of months, so I haven't been using OBS. Yeah, and then when I brought back OBS, I'm like, let me just check Streamlabs. To be honest with a lot of people, Streamlabs is a lot better now than it was before. Like it, because a lot of people will use, hold on, a lot of people will use. Why is there we go. Okay, a lot of people will use Streamlabs elements,
Right.
but not actually use Streamlabs.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? These things, but they're using them as browser inputs on
Right.
OBS. And I was like, what's the point of using all these browser resources? I feel like if you're using these browser resources, you're probably using more resources than if you were to use them native in Streamlabs.
Right.
So
I understand about that now. Yeah. So I had there was for some reason in the beginning. Okay, beginning like when I was starting stream around March, April.
Okay.
Streamlabs was taking up a lot of CPU.
Yes.
It was just taking up a lot of CPU in your computer, and then it would start to slow down, and it would get like really choppy. The reason why because Streamlabs has all these. I'm sure you guys have those in your OBS, the alert boxes and all that. So it's actually built in the Streamlabs. So it was using up a lot of resources in there. It was like when you're opening up, it takes a while to open up the Streamlabs because it's trying to open up all your other stuff in there. So
Right.
that's what. So that's why I said, "Oh man, Streamlabs sucks." I mean, I'm not for me.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everyone too, like because they're having issues. So I'm like, just use the regular OBS, and I'll show you how to put those in. Implement all the alert boxes and the whatever you guys have, the chat boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that's why I was against kind of like the Streamlabs OBS at that time. Well, you're telling me now it's good. So I actually jumped into Stream Elements because it wasn't using a lot of CPU.
Now, Stream Elements is a PC-based app, right? There's no Mac version of Stream Elements.
There isn't.
Okay, gotcha. So actually, this is a perfect transition, because a lot of people are confused at why, and I've said this, but sometimes it's better to hear from other people. People are confused why PCs work better than Macs, because a lot of people were like, "Well, I'll just buy a secondary Mac." Like I had a spare Mac around, which was the only reason why that I even used it in the beginning.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't understand. So can you explain to them why PCs work better than Macs for streaming specifically?
Well, the first one is let's talk about OBS. So OBS, I mean OBS, using OBS in the either PC or Mac. For some reason, OBS, it's like they have more. A lot of the programmers put more emphasis on PCs. Like they use more. There's more support on the PC. For OBS. Like if you'll notice, there's a difference between like the OBS, using the OBS on the Mac versus using the OBS on the PC. There's more features on the PC versus them putting more effort into the OBS in the Mac.
So what feature?
Like the virtual camera.
Is it virtual camera?
That's one of them. Also, opening up your chat boxes in OBS. There's no chat box. There's nothing in Mac where it opens up.
Right.
And
okay. Wait, I'm sorry. So you're saying you can open up your chat box in the OBS application and see your chat?
In PC, yes.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
Yeah, and also your stream stats. So you could, instead of you going into Twitch to
Mm-hmm.
do your stream info, you could actually do it in OBS.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can do it in Streamlabs too, but then again, it's slowing
It's
it up.
resource heavy.
Just
Yeah.
resource, yes. That's the word,
Okay.
resource heavy.
Now,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, looks like. By the way, Tweak Music Tips in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by today. Okay, so somebody said, looks like Diamond Lee says, OBS equals CPU monster. Even when hardwired Ethernet, it's still taking up a lot of CPU. Do I need more RAM?
So you'll need, even with hardwired Ethernet. Diamond, are you opening up a lot of windows? So if you're opening up a lot, you probably need more RAM if you're opening up a lot of resources like of course, your video cam. You have your other other applications open, like your browser. Probably your background. You might want to check your background stuff, like if you have a Dropbox open up or.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes up a lot of resource. I mean, and that's actually where the RAM comes in. So when you have like all these windows open, it starts to slow down your. I don't know if you got that. Like, why is my Windows or my computer slowing down? Like getting to other applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
you have other applications open.
right. Yeah, the more applications you have open, the more RAM is unavailable to you, even when you start OBS.
Right.
So like I have this 16 has 64 gigs of RAM in it. But that's only but not that it matters. I have this super high end MacBook Pro that sucks at OBS. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the computer that you recommend, which is that, or that you have recommended in the past, which is that Nitro, that Acer Nitro.
Yes.
That thing $600 and it runs OBS like a champ. Yeah. So for people that don't know, even though developers are writing for PC, okay, but the main reason that it works better on PC is because of the graphics card.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that so they can kind of understand why it works better.
Yeah. So for some reason, now we're talking about, so like for some reason when you're with the Macs, I mean Macs are great, like with the people do graphics in there and this and that, but for some reason, like when it comes to streaming, like the graphic card, it sucks on the Mac because it's embedded with the CPU in the sense. So it's totally separate from with a PC. You have, think about it. All the gamers are on PCs because of the graphics card. The graphic card is what matters because a lot of because of video encoding. So like when you're pushing out content, when you're putting high res 4K or you're doing video mixing, or what else is there? Or putting graphics, like see people putting their graphics. A lot of those are high res. So, everybody has to so it has to compress, it has to like encode the video going into the graphics card so that how do I explain this? So if you have a better graphics card, it'll push out better going out into the streams.
Yeah, yeah, don't worry about them.
Yeah.
They need to step up to the game. That's why you're on here. But ultimately you're saying, so if the better the graphics card, the more that it can process, the more efficient, the faster it can process, the better it is for the computer.
Yes.
Because like Macs, since we can't use the graphics card, we have to use the processors in our computers to do the encoding. Right. So all that visual stuff that's coming through, it's using our processors. And because it's using our processors, now it's taking away from Serato and OBS and all these other things, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have that with the PC.
So that's where it came about. Like when we're talking about like where how when I switched when I started switching out to Twitch,
Hmm.
and then everyone is switching out to Twitch. That's where I was like, man, everyone's having issues with the Mac because there, I mean, it wasn't processing correctly
Hmm.
with the video. It wasn't, again, like you said, it was inefficient pushing out to
Yeah.
Twitch. So that's why I always recommend PC. And yeah, there is a good pricing PC that you just talked about. I was recommending to everyone. Like Ice uses it. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm dropping names, but because
It's
there's
okay.
a lot of people. These are the people that are that asked me that are recommending. So I know Ice. A few people from the Snapback. Dynamics asked me about it. He uses it now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
DJ Dynamics.
And it's funny.
Uh,
I actually did notice an improvement in his stream.
oh yeah.
So that's why. Yeah. For anybody that's wondering, I'm gonna bring it up real quick just so you can kind of see. This is the laptop um, that Gene recommends. It's really affordable, and like I was telling people, I showed this thing right before Black Friday, and it was $5.99. It was soup. It was even more discounted. So $6.99 for that. Hopefully, are we on the stream? Yeah, we're on the stream. Now a lot of people have been saying, Gene, when they're looking at the specs, they're going, well, you really should have a better processor. The i5, 8 gigs of memory isn't enough. Why is it that this computer can run OBS so well? Is only because of the graphics card? Like the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter? I mean, what's your take on it if it's
Well,
only being used for OBS?
it's the graphics card and also the CPU. The CPU is like the most updated processor
Hmm.
with the cores. It has, I mean, it has the it's an i5. It's a 10th generation, not an older i5 2015 like a MacBook.
Okay.
I'm gonna compare this computer with a
Hmm.
MacBook Pro. That's how
Oh,
good this computer is.
wow.
Or not? Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. But so you can either get the there's the i5 and then there's also the AMD Ryzen 5. Which is comparable. It
Okay.
actually makes the laptop a little bit more cheaper because when I first started streaming, I was using I picked up an HP.
Okay.
Same specs. It's the same specs like that, but it was an HP gaming laptop.
Hmm.
And I mean it's not the greatest graphics card that you see here on the screen, but it does the job for everybody that's like kind of like in the budget trying to
Right.
get started.
Okay. All right. And again, we're talking about. Hold on, let me pop this up. We're talking about the fact that first off, it's pretty affordable. But if you've looked at the results, like you've looked at DJ Icy Ice's stream, or you looked at Dynamics or any of these streams, and
Yeah.
and before this, he wasn't really doing green screen or
Right.
any type of like visuals.
Right.
Did he have it prior to his Serato stream when he DJ'd on Serato?
Which you talking about the PC?
Yeah.
Prior to PC, he was actually mixing. You're talking about Ice, right?
No, I was talking about Dynamics. When did Dynamics
Yeah.
get his new computer?
Oh, so he got a Mac. He picked up an old Mac, right?
Okay,
I was like,
gotcha.
hey, dude. He goes, "Will this work?" I said, "It'll work, but to some extent."
Yeah,
But because
yeah,
everyone, so here's the thing: a bunch of because we're all on Macs. Like
yes. Hmm.
everyone's like anti PC. It's like I want to be Mac this, Apple that. So I had to like same with like scam artists.
Hmm.
They're all Macs in there
Yeah,
when it first
right.
started. So finally they made the move. But anyways, with Dynamics, he picked up an old like beefed up laptop. It was a 2015 MacBook
Hmm.
Pro. But at that time, I think around 2014, the older Macs they had they had some updated video cards in there.
Hmm.
Yeah, like NVIDIA ones. So he picked up one of those, but for some reason it had problems. It had to do with the CPU.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's in all
Dude,
honesty,
the combo.
it's Yeah, it's a combo of both. It's a combo of the Macs had throttling issues because they were the cores were running too hot, so it would throttle down like crazy. Um, but I thought even though it had an NVIDIA graphics card, because even mine has an NVIDIA,
Yeah.
it won't work for rendering on OBS.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny. I remember to this day when it was like right after, it could have been right before, no, it was right after the Retinas came out, the MacBook Retinas 2012.
Yeah.
And they were coming out with new models, and they were coming out with the new skinny one, you know, the new body style, like the one I'm using. I have a 16, but it's the same body style.
Yeah.
So I remember when they were changing the body style, everybody said the same thing. They were like, okay, we need a better graphics card. Give us a better graphics card. And for whatever reason, Apple persists on putting in mobile graphics cards into their laptops. So they're weaker, but they're more battery efficient. But now we're learning, you know, as we're now trying to stream and everything, that these mobile graphics cards aren't good enough. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why you have a $600 computer that runs better than your MacBook, because it's choices. The battery runs better. It's more efficient. If you're using stuff like Final Cut and all those things, the graphics card is amazing, you know, but it's just not amazing for things like OBS. Now, you would think that OBS could write to Mac to utilize a graphics card, because there's a lot of people, right? I mean, Photoshop utilizes a graphics card now. Final Cut does. I think like DaVinci Resolve. So I guess it's just a matter of somebody saying MacBooks are important, but they're not. Not the PC people.
No.
Let's see, because I saw T Diesel said NVIDIA GPUs are better for streaming, but the GPU CPU combo doesn't really matter unless you get a new Ryzen 5000 series CPU in one of the brand new AMD GPUs that just came out last week. Yeah, that's a lot of computer.
Yeah.
Now I know we're talking about, you know, this laptop.
Mhm.
Are you recommending or building any desktops for people?
No.
Oh, so only laptops.
I was about to, but right now it's just laptop because they wanted something small and efficient.
Right,
Mobile.
and quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, not this big tower. Now, there is an emote out there called Fix It Gene. So if you guys have that emote, throw it in the chat if you have that emote. Here is, I guess the move over, or the evolution. So you were a IT guy.
Yes.
Then you quit. Then you became, you know, a mobile entertainment specialist. then quarantine hits. You're doing, you know, nothing but DJing. And then you get hired back on because you are a consultant employee for Scam Artist.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say to people is, just because we're in quarantine doesn't mean that the world has come to an end. And you need to utilize your skill sets, all of your talents, to be able to pivot, you know, to something else. Now, you have pivoted to this. So how did that come about? Was it like you were talking so much, they were like, you should probably just come on board? Like, how did that happen?
So on this, so big ups to Ice and Remark. I don't know how they got. Well, just people in people that are in the industry. Well, so here's how it started. I'm just retracting back.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yes, I'm helping Remark and Ice, a lot of the Snapback people crew. And then I started talking to, I don't know, for some reason it got across to like like Scratchy 5 and Eric Deluxe. Scratchy
Right.
hit me up. DJ Scratchy
Hmm.
of Headliner. But I've known them before, so we're friends. So,
Right.
but he hit me up and knowing up, and then Scratchy's a tech guy too. But he goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." He hit me up. He hit me up because let's meet up. If you to talk about about the streams because they wanted to perfect their situation when they're doing their streams.
Right.
So I went over there. I went out to the headliner office, and then I was talking to Eric and Five. Mostly, I was helping Eric Deluxe,
Hmm.
like some stuff. But he got some of this stuff down. But I was helping him like going through OBS and how to perfect things. So I think that's where it all started, and then I got from there. I got a I got a message from Sujit. Scam,
Hmm.
hey, I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So everyone knew that I was the Fix It Gene guy
Hmm.
because I was getting spread through the whole Twitch community in the beginning.
Right.
So that's where he hit me up, and I said, yeah, I'll definitely give you a call. I was kind of like honored in a way, for
Right, of course you should be. And
like
that's amazing.
like I don't think take things for granted, but I just like he called me and he called me, we talked, and then we started, and then that's how I jumped aboard with Scam because
Gotcha.
he was asking me like stuff about the streams and what we can do. And shout out to Scam Artist. I don't know if he's still in here, and I really thank him for bringing me on board and joining his team, and then also with the rest of the guys too, like HMC and then of course Snapback, my Snapback crew, because I got into Snapback crew because of me helping everyone in with helping them put their streams together and also just jumping on and on
Hmm.
Twitch when we started when we made the move to Twitch, when they moved, when the whole crew made the move to Twitch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's I like seeing and hearing stories like this. A person that was like, "Oh yeah, it started out as me just kind of helping people, and now I'm able to, make some money off of it." Because I think we all kind of do the same thing. We all help our friends, you know, probably to a excruciating degree. Uh,
Right.
and then, but at a certain point, you're like, this is something that this is a talent that I possess, and
Right.
people, are consulting you, and it proves basically that yeah, you are a commodity. You are somebody that people should look to. Um, so that's fantastic. You don't see that too often out there, but pivoting is what we do in 2020.
Right.
Everything we do is just a big pivot. As a matter of fact, I would say Scam Artist, Sujit, you know, they're pivoting through 2020 is a perfect example too. I mean, before, they're picking up now like, big Twitch names and things like that, where, before that might not have been even something you'd want to think about.
Right.
But, everybody has to pivot in 2020 and in 2021 too, because we're still going to be in the same situation.
Right.
Um, so let me ask for the people in the stream right now, people in the chat, do we have any questions for Gene? Anything in particular like you're having trouble with that, maybe we can help out with? Now is the time to ask the questions. Now. Okay, let's go through the chat just to make sure. Reggie Ward says OBS streaming on a Mac was not good, but on my HP Omen gaming laptop with dedicated video card, it works great. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
I have the same laptop. I use an HPM on my laptop, and it's an i7 10th gen, 16 gigabytes of RAM. I'm telling you my specs. It is a 2060 card, and NVIDIA 2060 card.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then yeah, 512 gigabytes of storage. But yeah, that,
Now,
that laptop is so awesome.
now, is there okay? So, is there a minimum spec that you would recommend to people hardware wise?
uh, you're cutting it. You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I said, is there a minimum spec that you would recommend to somebody hardware wise? Like, make sure this is the bottom of the barrel. You can get this, and you can still hold a good stream. Because I would assume there are levels.
Yes, the specs I gave you right there. The app, the one you posted up, the
Oh,
Acer.
that's the minimum.
One. That's what I would recommend right there.
Okay, gotcha,
Like
gotcha.
like
Okay,
like for a beginner. That's why when they're asking me, I want something affordable budget. That's it right there.
gotcha. Okay, all right.
Listen, yeah.
So this is the bottom of the barrel. Now, as far as because I recommended it because I knew that you recommended it. So when people are like, I need a cheap cheap streaming computer. Now, as far as even though it's the minimum, as far as like graphics are concerned and green screen and
Yeah.
emote walls and all that stuff,
Yeah.
is this computer enough to be able to do all of that?
Yes, it is.
Or is okay.
Yeah. So like all the upgrades, it's like you start to like wonder like, and then after that, it's like, man, you start looking at other people's stream. How come their camera's so good? This and that. Now,
Right.
that's where you start to upgrade your computer.
So
this is like the
okay.
basic, like you want to go. This is something like you're going to use a basic webcam. Like
Mhm.
a Logitech 920.
Oh, I see.
You know.
So okay. So if I'm using like my Lumix G9, or for instance, Paris is using, his A7 III,
Right.
obviously you're still going to need some form of a video card
Yes.
to get the video in.
Yeah.
But okay, I get it. So for instance, say somebody's using like a cam link, the
Yes.
quality of their picture, is it going to be it won't be degraded by this computer because this computer has enough
Yeah.
enough power to
Yes.
run it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But you probably want to. I don't know. For some reason, wait. So so I'm using this computer. I did upgrade.
Mhm.
For some reason, when I upgraded to the Omen, it opened it up more for some reason. I don't know how.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's something to do with
Mhm.
the video card. Like it was able to like handle the encoding much better. So
Gotcha.
that's what
That
I'm
makes
talking about.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's better processors
better
in the graphics card.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So and like people up, yeah. So people just starting in Twitch, yeah. You can get you can go big if you want, like how DJs are. Like when they jump from like instead of getting control, you can go like way out with turntables and a mixer if you want to spend the
Mhm.
money. It's just like streaming. Like
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah,
go
you
big,
can get you can get your little controller and
yeah,
you're fine. But yeah, as you want to go bigger and bigger.
yeah,
And it's funny because people have two choices. And I think one of the things that it seems people either go one of two ways. Either they're all out green screen,
right,
or they're completely dry, just regular camera stuff. And I when we first started in quarantine, I did green screen. I did the whole I was cutting up my videos and embedding myself in the movies and things like that. So, which I might do again because it was a fun thing. It just took a long time.
ah,
But but at a certain point, I kind of was just like, I really just want a good picture. Like, I just want it to look good when somebody pulls it up on their phone, on their TV. Because a lot of people, and maybe you can talk about this, a lot of people think that because, there's all these people that are doing green screen that you have to do green screen. Like, that's the only thing you can do. I gotta be able to get on green screen, or there's no reason to get on the Twitch.
right,
What are your thoughts on green screen? Because you do green screen.
right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on green screen? And I guess why do you do green screen versus, keeping kind of a straight camera?
I'll tell you why I do green screen.
Mhm.
I actually don't. I actually didn't want to do green screen, But I was like, oh man, I need to paint my walls. You know what I mean? Like, no, because I'm streaming in the back in my back patio in my
Mhm.
my house, and then like I didn't have time to like 'cause I actually prefer not having a green screen. Like how your look, I love how your look is.
Mhm.
That's why I love how your and I like how Remarks is, melodies,
Mhm.
um also
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the record wall like everybody else. That's
yeah.
the thing. You gotta have a record wall. I don't have a record wall, so I just decided to do something like that instead.
But and also like and then I said, I'll do green screens. I was like, you know what, I want to put some visuals. So I started getting to that. That's where I started getting to, I started falling in love with the green screen after that,
Mhm.
since I can't be with like you guys. No, serious. It's a truth. Like sometimes I like the natural look because also too it like opens up the cam for some reason. Like
It does.
you get that clear picture. Like you got a good cam.
Yeah.
Like you
Right.
like you, Terry.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I I I equate this to uh m- mobile DJing. So
Mhm.
so we have photo booths and things like that, and people are like, "Oh, do we want to do green screen or do we want to do regular camera?" And I'm like, "Look, if you only want to make a novelty and you just want to have that one time and you don't care about the pictures later on,
Yeah.
green screen is fine. But if you want pictures that you can actually look at later on and enjoy and go back to, then don't use the green screen because the
Yeah.
camera, there's so many things that you have to worry about with green screen. You have to worry about, for instance, before I had all this,
Mhm.
um, I did green screen in the beginning of Wake Up in Cleveland. And but you have to deal with, okay, now there's green edges around me and I got to make
Right.
sure this is clean and the walls and
Yeah.
shadows and all these things. And then you're just like, I can't use that later on. It's a
Yeah.
good, it's a temporary fix. Now, of course, I could paint the walls, light it properly, and then that's not an issue. But yeah, green screen never, unless you are really, really detailed, green screen never looks perfect.
Right.
There's always some little things where you're just like, okay. And when I was doing this show, I'm like, I needed to look a little more respectable, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but and I think space is a big issue. You know,
Right.
if you don't have a lot of space, if you don't have something to look at behind you,
Mhm.
um, kind of creating that thing is better. My boy DJ Rel and his girl, they do a like a Wednesday night show,
Nice.
and originally they were just in their little studio and they had two decks, and but everything felt really small and cramped. Then they put a green screen up,
Mhm.
and it completely opened up the visuals. It made it look like it was so much larger than life,
Yeah.
you know. And that's what green screen can do for you. So I don't hate on green screen. I just I just know that it just takes a lot of processing power to do
It
green
does.
screen. You know, and you have to light it properly.
Yeah. That's where it gets into the video card. That's why you gotta get a better video card for that stuff. Also a good camera. Like
Mhm.
seriously, get a good camera. And you gotta get lighting. You know,
Yes,
lighting is
lighting's
important
important.
when you're doing when you do green screen because it's
Yeah,
gonna take off all the fuzziness and all that. But honestly, I think it's the camera though. I use
yeah.
a
Because go ahead.
oh no, I use a Sony camcorder, an
Oh, okay.
AX. Yeah, so I don't use a AS6400. That's what I'm using right now.
That no. The Sony has a good picture.
Yeah,
In general. You know it. Although Sony's naturally give people a little bit of a green hue that you have to tweak.
yeah,
I don't know what it is about Sony's, but there's a green hue on everybody that uses the Sony.
yeah.
But but there's a lot of so I guess we should probably talk about cameras. You know, I use like a GH a G9. It's essentially the GH5, but in a
Right.
in a camera
Panasonic.
centric Panasonic Lumix,
Yeah.
yeah. Front Lumix up top too, and I have a Black Magic sitting around here somewhere that they
Wow.
sent me.
Black Magic.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's good. It's good. But you know, once and all of my lenses work on it, but once you get used to the way settings are on one camera, it's
Right.
really hard to move to another one. But I think I will utilize it for my turntable view, because I don't have a turntable view. I have this view, I have the overhead view, but I'd like to do like a little corner view, which I
Oh,
don't have.
nice.
Yeah, so that would be, well, I'm overkill. I know I'm overkill for a lot of people, um, but I, I think it's important that if you're in the market to go buy a camera, um, I would say try to buy a camera that has at least an actual HDMI port. Not a USB-C, I mean not USB-C, but like a USB port that converts it over, because that's what the people with the Canons are struggling with right now. Anybody that's using like a Canon camera, they're going out the USB, and then they're at the mercy of the Canon stuff, and there's delays, so it doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
If you can get one that has an HDMI out,
Yeah.
you'll go a lot better. And like, I have a full HDMI on this one, so I plug directly right into my ATEM. I have a mini HDMI on my other one. So, there's a lot of options out there, but yeah, I think HDMI is always going to give you a better option.
Yep, I agree with you. I started recommending that.
Mhm.
I noticed the difference between using a USB or just going versus going with an HDMI
Yeah.
with the mini port or mini or micro. It's for some reason it brings up the camera
Yeah.
again.
It really
Yeah,
does. It
yeah.
really does. It's a CPU with 3 cameras. So
Oh,
so here,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Sorry.
I can
No,
I can go back to
shout
that.
out I just saw Shaky in here. He was giving me when I first started streaming. I kept on talking to him because he's a photographer too,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I
A very
started
good
talking. Hey,
photographer.
I started talking about cameras. So shout out to Shaky out here. In here, I see him, and
Gotcha.
That's where I was able to get a little gist and helping other people on what cameras to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people that are asking, so they're saying like Diamond Lee said 3 camera CPU overload. Yes, it is, except I'm not using the computer. I'm using this ATEM Mini ISO, which is basically the ATEM Mini Pro, and the ATEM Mini has its own graphics cards
Yeah.
in the box. So it's doing all the processing. So I'm only sending a little USB-C cord out to my computer for StreamYards. But with the ATEM Mini Pro or ISO, you can stream directly using the box. So you never actually even have to use your computer at all.
Yeah.
So when I'm just DJing and I'm only like DJing to Twitch, which you can use to restream too, but when I'm only DJing to Twitch, I just hit the on air and I'm live like that. What I like about the ATEM as opposed to like using OBS is, for whatever reason, the compression out quality of the signal is so good, but it doesn't require a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
So I can run full 1080p stream and it's only using like 4.5 megs,
Yeah.
going out. So that's the reason why you have a choice. Okay. So anybody that's wondering, if you don't, I mean, and you can do green screen on this too, but it's not the same as OBS. OBS has so much flexibility. I mean, literally you can say, no, I want my green screen image to be here and here, and you can cut it up and do whatever you want. You can't really do that with the ATEM. But if you're looking for price comparison, the ATEM Mini Pro versus like the Acer Nitro are pretty close in price. I think the ATEM Mini is it's about the same price, about $600 for it. So if either you didn't have the space or you just wanted something simple, the ATEM is a good alternative to getting a computer. That's if you want a straight shot and it's easy. Yeah. Thank you, Reggie. I try. Yeah, and an old GH4. I mean, look, all these things are great. James Bond asks, is a GoPro good? Some of them are.
Yeah, they are.
I thought that anything from the GoPro
They-
8 has a really good picture.
Yeah.
And
it does.
and 9. Yeah.
I've seen it.
So
And the Hero 5 is pretty good. I know of one person that's using it.
mhm.
I've seen because I was helping him with his setup. DJ Curse. I don't know if he's in here, but he uses the Hero 5, but but the thing is he goes HDMI direct with it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
his quality is clear.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Oh, so and I guess we should probably talk about are any of the people that you're helping, do they use their phones?
Mello was
Me-
DJ Mello. Where's he at? Oh, he left. I was helping Mello. He was using his phones, but he eventually got a Brio.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But he was using that. I was like, oh man. And so the thing at the phones, it would get hot. Just
You right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't use my phone, but I do have the Epocam or Epocam
okay,
software. And a lot of people, I guess if you're wondering what it looks like. So this is an iPhone. Always clean up your lenses, by the way, guys. This is an iPhone 11. So just basic, the normal iPhone 11, nothing special about it. Let's see if we can switch my camera real quick, which is also going to switch my now I bought the upgraded software, so you can use the free version, and the free version gives you, I think it's 720p, yeah, 720p, but I don't think you can use either the back camera or your front camera. Then you pay like $8, and then it gives you the front camera, and you can broadcast in 1080p. So let's shift this around real quick. Okay. All right. So let's see if this works. All right. So this is so this is the back camera, and I don't even know right now if I think the sound may be coming through. Hold on, let me switch the sound too, so you can get that whole experience. Okay. All right. Am I on there? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the back camera. I'm gonna go to full screen so people can kind of see. This is the back camera. Now, again, the most important part is light. There's a light here. I use my little overhead light here, but I also have like this guy right here. Now, if I flip to myself using the same setup as you just saw with my Panasonic, let me move this. Now, this is what I look like. So same setup, but as you can see with the camera, I definitely look a little, I'm not as clean as I was before. It just, the phones require so much more light to make them look good. So that's really the issue. And like if you look at here and you see this light source, which is this light right here, if you can see how it doesn't really look, it looks, what's the word I'm looking for? It's banding.
Yeah.
It's banding because the camera source just can't interpret it as well. So let me switch back. And now we're back. And let's get out of this camera, Apple Cam Virtual. But hold on. Okay. We back?
Yeah.
All right. But the good thing about this particular camera, what's really cool is say for instance, you were doing something that required you to move around your place. If you just have this little Apple camera in there, you can activate it, and then I can walk all around my house and literally just use my phone. It'll take the microphone from the phone. Like that's another bit of flexibility. Like maybe you have some channel points.
Yeah, I gotta set you. Yeah, exactly. So I set well, Mello's gone now. So I set up Melody with a cam like that.
Mhm.
We call it the Booze Cruise. So we use that, but we use a software called NDI.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're familiar with NDI.
I know. Yep. I do.
NDI
Yep.
TV, because he used the iPhone. So we set that up, the NDI, so he was able to use the microphone and walk to go grab a beer in the refrigerator and then come back. Oh, there's Mello.
That's funny. That's a great cam.
Yeah.
I can hear the echo in the room though. Yeah, yeah, that's one of the joys of using your normal camera. Yeah, it might be louder. Louder doesn't mean better, but
Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people swear by their phones, and in a pinch, it definitely works. And if you have a lot of light, like
Yeah.
if I'm outside and I'm using my iPhone,
Mhm.
I can't really tell the difference between my G9 and my iPhone. But as soon as I walk inside, that's when the DSLR shows its strength.
Yeah.
And not just the DSLR, but the power of the lens. Like this is a 1.8 lens. So it's super fast.
Right.
If anybody wants to know, 1.8, that's the speed of the lens. So on your phone, they do a little trickery, okay? Because they'll say like, oh, this is a 1.7 aperture lens, blah blah blah, but it's never really a 1.7 because
Yeah.
the the chip inside is super super small. So like if you're using like an A7 III, they call that a full frame camera, and that means that the what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? The camera chip, basically. The video chip inside is big. And then as you move down to like you got full frame, and then you have like the old school Canons, which was like maybe half the size, and then you have the G9s, which is a micro four thirds, so it's 4/3 of the size, and then you get down to like these guys, which is like minuscule. So you'll never get the same exact quality out of your camera inside. Outside, all bets are off. Or if you turn on a whole bunch of lights, all bets are off. And
Wow.
like, because for me, there's barely any light in this room. It's just this one light and this light. If I turn on my house lights for the room itself, because somebody was saying that his green screen looks perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you need a lot of light for green screen. So all that light for green screen is helping your camera look amazing. So if you're going to use your phone, make sure that you just turn on all the lights. Turn every light you have on in the room, and then your camera will look good. But as soon as you start dimming, trying to create like a vibe, ambiance, that's when your cell phone's going to struggle. And you got to keep it plugged in.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of battery.
Battery. Yep.
All right, let's see what we got here. Thank you, Audio One. Appreciate that.
Audio One.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if there's any more. Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
For whatever reason, it wouldn't work in my brain. The sensor. Yes, thank you.
One thing also with if you're using the there was an issue too when Mello was on. I knew that too when I started. When I first started streaming, I was using a camera. I was using actually an Android phone for my camera.
Mhm.
And I was acting as a green screen. I was doing the green screen. My first screen was my first green screen. I was using cardboard. I mean not cardboard. Poster board. The green poster board.
Okay.
So I
Right,
took it all
right.
up. So that was my
Yeah.
first green screen when I first started streaming on Twitch, and then I used the Samsung Samsung Note, because it was a high-end
Okay.
camera.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then I used the Apple Cam, and I did get lighting.
Right.
But yeah, the thing is, like, there was a delay. And talk about the delay with the sound. We didn't even get to talk to the audio. About the audio card yet. We need to talk about that later. So we had to do
the audio cards. That's right.
we had to
Okay,
go on
go ahead.
OBS to adjust the delay so that it would match with when you're playing videos or when you're talking too.
Now, that's actually very, very important, because I think a lot of people don't consider that when they're using OBS. There are more panels than a lot of people even know or want to deal with. But one of those things, when you're using any type of for instance, like he was just saying, his Note camera, or an HDMI camera that maybe has a different audio card. So if I'm right, exactly. So if I'm using my G9,
Yeah.
and I run everything from the mixer into the G9. Like I'll run an audio out and I plug it into the G9. I'm not going to have any delays because that's real time. All the signal, everything's traveling into one thing. But that's not typical. And for a lot of people, their cameras can't take a line in. So you can't use your input anyway because it'll distort like crazy because of that. So what we have to do is you got to run in an audio source, you got to run in a video source, and when you do that, depending on the speed, everything, the capture card, all of these little things all add delays to your signal. Okay, it slows it down a little bit. It's one more step that has to happen. So if for instance, if you have a capture card, you send it to the capture card has to encode it, and now that's a delay. It's micro, but it's a delay. And the more stuff you have going, the more delays you have. So the audio typically doesn't have a delay.
Yeah.
Because it's just a direct stream. So the audio will come first because it's the first thing to hit. HDMI has an inherent delay. There is no perfect HDMI out there. They all have delays. Yeah. Now, some things have delay adjustments that they do, but like OBS doesn't. So when people are talking and they don't realize that the audio is coming before them, it's because of the delay. So you have to go into OBS and adjust. So let's, you know what, we should probably just take them in there real quick.
Yeah.
So they can
sync
see.
Offset.
Yeah, the sync offset is very, very important. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take them in real quick. All right. Let's remove this one. And let's add another one. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay. So let's see if I have one that's not that. Okay. So within your stream, you might have your video, like this is my video card, which nothing's going to show up right now because I'm not using it. But you got your ATEM, which is my video, but then you have your audio. Now, in your setup here, in your settings, you have this little thing, this advanced audio properties right here. Now, you can't see that because for whatever reason, it doesn't show. Hey, it's not showing my floating thing. Okay. That's weird. Let's add another one.
Which floating thing?
The audio monitoring floating.
Oh, I think it's turned off, right? The eye?
No, mine's on, but it won't show it
okay.
in the screen for whatever reason. Okay. So let's do another one here. Because now it's its own screen. So let's see if it comes through. It's so weird. Huh. Oh, got it. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So this guy right here is in the advanced audio properties. And this little option, this sync offset, this will save your stream. The problem is it's really hard to find that sweet spot, because like it's all a guessing game. And I have found that for whatever reason, typically for me, HDMI and audio, it seems like right around 300 milliseconds is like the sweet spot. But everybody's computers and the audio cards and the video cards are different, so it just depends. But this little thing will save your stream. So make sure you go into that little settings and adjust for it because it's kind of key. And we should probably talk about audio cards. So
yeah, I can't wait to talk about that.
So
that was a big thing.
It's a huge thing, and there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways to use it, especially in the beginning of quarantine when you didn't have a lot of options. So and a lot of people don't realize that things like the rain mixers and even the Pioneers, their native audio is operating on levels higher than what OBS can see.
Yeah.
So anytime people are like, "Oh, I can't get my audio to work," it's because, like, for instance, Rain, I think their channels are like 11 and 12 or something, or 12 and 13. It's some ridiculously high number that that OBS can't see. But we'll talk about that little detail in a minute. So
Yeah.
what do you recommend as far as audio is concerned?
For you're talking about the interfaces.
Yeah, well, just in general for streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I always recommended. I used the Focusrite in the beginning. I don't use the Focusrite anymore. I'll tell you what I use now later. But I in a bit. I mean, I was using the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2.
Okay.
I had the first gen. I've had it for a while. So when I started switching, I started learning about the audio interfaces with streaming, and then I started using the Focusrite. And then I heard that, and then I noticed that the clarity of the sound was just way better.
Mhm.
Just coming out, compressing it really well. And of course, I'm doing the settings. You have to, of course, adjust the settings in there. And I mean, you can add a compressor in there if you want to, but yeah, but I don't know. It just does the job, just plugging it in
Directly.
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 You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
what's the other ones that they were using? The
the
I
inbox, the Focusrite, the iRig. iRig
iRig,
was
yeah.
really popular. Yeah.
So from the switches when IG started, when people were streaming on IG, people were using that. People were getting the iRigs, right?
Yeah. Right.
For some reason, like it wasn't really like when they started switching out to Twitch, like it wasn't like doing the job.
Right. Sound quality is way different.
Sound quality is way different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always recommended everybody getting I mean, like a few of the DJs I recommended, like even Mello was asking me, so he finally got it, the Focusrite. I two I
Mhm.
two. A lot of the snapback people got him. Um,
I have found that the Focusrite can be a little sensitive.
yeah.
Especially to gain structure.
Mm.
Because I had as a matter of fact, it's really interesting because, like, when I first started, I was using my inbox, which is right down here. So
Oh
this
yeah, I
is
know that.
this is my old Pro Tools inbox, and it still works perfectly. And to be honest with you, for whatever reason, and I know you were saying it's just easier and better sound wise going direct,
Right.
and it can be, but I found that this going XLR out of my mixer into this guy
Uh-huh.
has, to this day, has the best sound out of anything that I've used. It's
Nice.
really weird, but the problem is it's old and it's Pro Tools, so the highest I can go is High Sierra, and after that it won't work. So I actually
Wow.
haven't updated one of my MacBooks. I'm on High Sierra because of that, just in case I needed to grab at this. But I do have other. I'm using like the Zoom L8 right now, and you can get the Yamaha, the little Yamaha 8-channel one with the USB out. There's so many little options that you can do.
Yeah.
But direct, sometimes going into some sort of a solid state thing for whatever reason, the communication, the transfer, the compression that's kind of naturally built in,
Yeah.
it seems to warm it up a little bit. There is a little bit of a sterileness going straight digital without adding any compression. I will admit that. But in a pinch, it works.
So the one I use right now, currently, actually I
Mhm.
recommend it nice too. I use the SSL too.
Oh, okay,
Solid State
gotcha.
Project.
Yeah.
I was recommended it by one of the sound engineers out there.
Mhm.
I was like, when I
Right.
was doing, so I said, you need to pick this up. Trust me. I'm like, why? Because dude, I'm telling you, a lot of the people on the street they use it. And
Yeah.
I saw like Lil John posting. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll pick it up. The price point, it's around $200.
Okay.
250.
Which is
Just like
normal
the Focus,
for yeah.
the sound card. So I picked it up, and I was able to. It pushes. So I don't know. It has something to do with the sound. Like like you can hear everything. I don't know. It's just weird. But you're at the same time. Your MP3s have to be good too. High quality. Can't be like no like 128 kilobits or whatever. the
Mhm.
songs. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you. I'm not like a sound guy, but I know the basics of like what the quality should be coming in
Yeah.
and going out, pushing up because everything's all digital.
Right.
We're
Right.
pushing digital out to the. There you go, 279. DJ John Parker just posted it
Yeah.
up.
So that's actually a good question as I'm dropping stuff all over my floor. As far as encoding is concerned in OBS, what do you recommend for encoding?
For OBS
For
for
audio encoding?
audio.
Yeah.
It depends on your sound card. So I was
Okay.
able to go to 48
Mhm.
versus 44.1. I'm at 192.
Okay.
Uh,
Which is which
I
which
mean,
is which is which is high
I
for a
mean,
a lot of
yeah,
people.
because anyways, it doesn't matter because it pushes out 160 anyways, going out to the streams
Right.
and people listening.
No. Well, no, but not to partners though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe partners have a higher bandwidth or
Oh, I didn't know
higher.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, so this is actually a good thing. So as far as OBS is concerned, um, there's a lot of confusion about what the settings should be in OBS.
Yeah.
So let's say I pick this up and let's go into here real quick. Let's share the screen one more time. And that's so in case you were wondering, if you're using Streamlabs and you're sharing a screen, the reason why it doesn't pop up correctly, you have to select the pop-up stream for it to activate in the window. If you don't click on it, it doesn't activate. So
Oh, really?
bizarre. Yeah. Okay, so let's shrink this down. Let's get this out of the way.
Shout out to everyone in the chat room. I'm just reading. The chat's kind of like going so fast for me. Well, not fast, but it's like
Hey man, that's
yeah.
like I said, they're here for you. They want to know. They want to know. Okay, is this my settings? Let's see. Share. Okay. All right. So I want to say that this may be one of the more important things that a lot of people don't really understand. And I always say, when in doubt, keep it simple. Don't go into the advanced settings if you don't know what you're doing. Just let it kind of work its way for you. But if we move into, okay, so here's one thing right here. This is the output. What do you recommend for people? And I know it depends on the bandwidth and all that stuff, but let's say they have a solid bandwidth.
Yeah.
What do you recommend for output for people?
On the stream. Oh, and simple, right?
Mhm.
So for the audio bitrate 190, video rate 2500 kilobits per second.
And let me stop you right there. So this video bit rate of 2500 kilobits per second, can you tell people what that means?
So that's basically like what's pushing out. Like that has to match also with your internet speed, or what you have for your internet.
Oh, my internet. Yeah. So my internet is like yours.
Actually,
So let's say it's 15 to 16 megs up.
So we can go higher than that. We can go higher than 2500. We can go actually to 4000.
Now, but if you go that high, you're also affecting your processor too, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You're pushing it because but it'll be much faster when you're pushing it. So well, how do I say this? It'll be able to handle all that encoding that you're pushing in it. Just depending what you're when you're doing a lot of video stuff, right? Like your card. Yeah. I know your
the ATEM.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can actually go higher on that. DJ, mine's at 6,000 too. They recommend, so Twitch, one of the Twitch guys recommended me to go to 6,000, and a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay.
Only if you have a good, again, it comes down to your video card, right? What it can handle. So that's that's what your graphics card, I mean. So that's it's good to go to 6,000. But and also it depends on your internet upload speed. I just noticed that. So I mean, this stuff is actually 3 months new. This is a couple months new to me about the about learning about the video.
Yeah.
So And then I've been testing everyone. That's why, like, when people go on and their internet upload speed is really low, that's why I always tell them go down the minimum 2500. You go lower than that, then it's going to be like spacing out. Like when it's going out
Oh, mhm.
to Twitch, it'll be like poop. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah,
frames
I
per
know.
second will be like,
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
yeah,
And then also for people that don't know, your base canvas and your output scale to resolution
yeah.
are a huge thing. A lot of people, want to output to 1080p,
Yep.
but 1080p not only takes up a lot of processing power, but it also takes up bandwidth too. So, when in doubt, if you are concerned, like say for instance, you are on a Mac, like I tell everybody on a Mac that I know, don't
Yeah.
go above 720. Just 720 is like
Yeah.
your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because 1080 it'll just kill your computer.
Well,
Just kill it,
the base canvas, you could set it at 19,
and then shrink it down
but shrink it down
on the output.
the output. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that, because a lot of the if you're getting to like graphics, like you want that quality still. But
Mhm.
when it goes down, when it streams out, it'll still. I mean, it'll show out to 720, but at least you got the high end graphics still coming in. Does that make
Right.
sense? Or,
Right. What if your video card is shit? Yeah, we're answering that right now. Yeah. If your
oh, if
video
your
card
video,
is yeah,
go buy a
you
new
got
one.
go buy a new one. Yeah, but don't exceed what don't exceed 720. I mean, I've seen people with crappy video cards drop down to 480.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I do want to mention, and we'll get right back to that. What I do want to mention is that a lot of people think that 1080 is the reason that their stream looks so crispy,
Yeah.
and it's not. Um, a lot of times it's the camera. So like right now, this video is in 720, not 1080.
Yeah.
When I post out to using my ATEM, I'll go 1080p. But like it's
Yeah.
not 1080 that makes it look crispy. It's everything else about it. So you get a good camera, and it will provide a much better picture quality, and then you
Yeah.
can do 720. But the crappier the camera, the more 720 looks like crap.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
nobody
We're
nobody
good.
ever knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming in here in 720. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 1080 like you, or
Mhm.
4K, whatever, but it's
Right.
still putting out 720.
Exactly. Okay. So as far as and this FPS people, this is your frames per second. And in reality, a lot of people out there think that they should go up to 60. You're not a gamer.
Yeah.
You don't need 60 frames per second.
Wow.
So, they actually can't see what I'm talking about here. No, add to stream. Okay. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
guy right here, this is your frames per second, and you can't see the pop up for whatever reason, but the options are standard TV, which is your 24 frames per second, 30, which is kind of like TV, like comedy shows. They're all putting out at like 30 frames per second. It's that kind of real look to it. And then
Yep.
60 frames per second is like your hyper real. It's sports. It's sports stuff. So
Yeah.
where it looks like you're there. So a lot of people when they open up OBS are like, I want it to look as clean and as crisp as possible, and they put it at 60, and it just kills your processor. So keep it at 30. Keep it even at 24. 24 is what they call the cinematic look. So it's going to add a little more distortion, I would say, to your picture, which is really grain, which basically makes it look softer. But they've been making movies this way for years, for generations, and there's something about the cinema quality that just looks good. So if you wanted to look that cinema, you go 24 frames per second. Okay, let's move to the audio. Okay, so
I'm at
as you were
48.
saying before, yeah, you use your sample rate at 48. I have noticed that some cards they don't
Handle
work
it.
right at 48.
No. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so it all depends on the audio interface that you have.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, this 44.1 is what you want to stay at. Now,
Yeah.
look, guys, I think people need to understand this because this is an audio thing. This is definitely, what I do. 44.1 is the equivalent of a CD. Okay. All CDs are burned at 44.1. So the quality is good. 48 adds a little more audio overhead bandwidth.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a little more room to make modifications. But for us, for what we're doing, for most people, 44.1 is fine. You don't need to go any more than that.
Yeah.
Then you have your channels, and I know you guys can't see this, but stereo is a default. That's basically 2 channels, your left and right. But then you can go up to like surround sound. You can move it up to like a 5.1 or 7.1. This is only important for a couple of different people. Now, I don't even know if you know this, but if you're using like a rain mixer and you want to go internally out of the rain mixer, the only way to get audio to register in OBS with like the 70, the 72 is to change your channels to a 5.1 sound, and then it'll pick up the sound. Without that, you're not going to get anything. So it's quirky, it's stupid, but that's the only way to get it to work. As far as the global audio, basically none of this matters, unless I'm wrong. What do you think?
No, it doesn't matter. I like the settings you have right now is perfect.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for just even starting out. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like if you're streaming though, get an audio interface. Get a secondary.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing for anybody that's utilizing videos that have their own sound in them. So say you're playing a clip from something and you're using OBS, you have to have your desktop audio on.
Yeah.
In order for it to hear the sound. So that's the only thing. If you're playing that, then you need your desktop audio on. And it's literally enabled or default. So that's it. Let's see. Is there anything else here? We did.
Someone asking me about my SSL. Yeah, it's 4K. My 4Ks are on.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else? Yeah. None of this stuff matters. Advanced does not matter. Stay away from advanced people. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much all that you need to know for that one. There was one more thing I want to. Let's get to the full screen here.
DJ Accurate, I use a SSL, a solid state logic.
Yeah. But in all honesty, yeah, I mean, I say this. The reason that I prefer using the ATEM, there's little things that the ATEM does. It has its own audio section in the ATEM.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so you can adjust. There's noise canceling. You can improve. Like it's. Let's show you people. The one thing about the ATEM that's good and bad is it requires you to use this little application, which is the ATEM app. And it's how you affect like your delay and all of these types of things. Works great, but it's something that you always have to have running. So I will show people just in case you were wondering what it looks like, people. Application window. Okay. All right. So this is what the ATEM looks like. And I'm clicking on the wrong thing like an idiot. So hold on. I'm literally clicking on the screen like it's doing anything. Okay. So this is what the ATEM software looks like. And you can literally control all of your cams right from here. So I can change all this stuff, anything that I want to do, my on-air stuff, all the little things that I need to use it for. It's like a production piece of software. It looks like a production board. But what's cool is, like I said before, is under audio, as you can see, there's my audio right there. You can adjust, you can equalize for it. And of course, it's not going to show you because it's in a different picture. That's really dumb. By the way, this doesn't happen in like OBS. If I like try to bring up another picture, for whatever reason, it does not like what's going on here. But I want to show the EQ so people can see what I'm talking about. That's unbelievably annoying. Okay, there it is. Do-do-do. For whatever reason, it does not want to show you the pop-up. Okay, so we're not going to be doing that. But let's close this out. That's a good thing to know, though, because that's really annoying.
Hi, chat room. I didn't get to say hi to everyone in here. It's all good.
Yeah. I normally have my secondary HDMI out going into the ATEM. That way I can kind of like adjust for it, and I can just send it as another audio feed, and it makes it so much easier. But I didn't do that today. So, but for anybody that knows, so this right here, this is my dynamics. This is like my noise canceling. So when I stop talking, you can't hear all the crappy noise out there. And then I add a little EQ to my voice, but all of these things can be changed. Now, this is the most important part. You see this minus this 6 right here, this is my audio delay, because the HDMI going to here and then my audio going into the ATEM Mini, they're offset. So this is a 6 frame adjustment. So basically my audio will delay itself by 6 frames to equal my HDMI. And then we're good. And it took a while to get used to this stupid thing. But the cool thing is you have access to your cameras. You can adjust the quality right there. If you're using a Blackmagic, you can literally add LUTs to it, like right off the bat. So it's really, and then you have your normal stuff that you can use on here, like my overlays and all of those things. The one thing it does picture in picture, but the OBS is just so much more feature rich as far as what you can do. With OBS, it's like the sky's the limit. Your imagination is the limit. But with the ATEM, you are limited and you work around the limits.
Yeah.
But if you're comfortable working around them, then it's super easy, because you can still do green screen. You can still do the chroma sample. The green screen is actually really, really good in here, to be honest with you. Yeah, the green screen's good. Where'd you go?
I've used the Blackmagic. It's awesome. I never used it on the green screen though, but I've used it on, because when we're talking about pivoting, I do events outside of. I've been doing like wedding events, broadcasting events. So I've been using the ATM. And this software, it's so awesome. Like switching out.
It really is. Solid. Yeah.
But we weren't running HDMI cables. We were running SDI cables. Totally different.
Yeah. Oh, totally different.
Yeah, we were using the Blackmagic. I forgot what box that was.
But, you're looking at my key. I have to reset my damn key. Damn it.
Everyone can see it.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to make sure to pull that one off.
That's dope that you could do this. You can do the overlays in there and just throw them in there.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, it's like once you know what it can do, then you realize that you're not at the mercy of like the bandwidth issues. Like if I could do my interview straight through the ATEM, I would, which is actually what I'm looking at, because I have my L8 here, and this actually does audio pass through. So I can plug my computer in via the USB, and it will run and do a mix minus.
Yeah.
So I'm considering doing that, but then I got to bring up Zoom, and it's a whole different issue. So right now I'm using StreamYard, because it's just easy, and I like easy. Yeah. So we answered that one. But yeah, but as far as audio interfaces are concerned, I go out of my mixer right now into a secondary mixer. So Rain mixer or S11 or whatever, into the L8, the live track L8. And then I have an audio out, a stereo out that goes into the ATEM.
Nice.
And yeah, and it works well. It works well. I still go through my ATEM because I don't technically need to go through my ATEM audio wise for this, but I like the sound that comes out of it. And I like that my mic. I can throw all the EQ on there because there's no compression on this board.
Yeah.
For microphones, but there is in the ATEM. So so there's an option. And
Awesome.
for some people, you can go buy the A10 Mini, not the Pro, not the ISO, and it's like $399 or $300 or something like that.
$300.
And and then you can utilize all of the channels and then just run the USB into your computer and still use OBS. But now some of the processing issues are gone because it's doing all the processing in the box. The ATEM software takes absolutely no CPU. It's super because the software isn't actually doing the software is basically like holding on to the ATEM.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing because once you set the software, technically speaking, I can close out the ATEM because it's already sent all of the specs to the ATEM. So I can close the software. I just like to have it on because that way I can see my audio and I know what's going on. That's the only reason.
The ATEM has its own encoding in there, the box. It's just awesome. Where it doesn't have to push so much into the OBS, like what Jaden said. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'd love it. You got to come here, man. This is where it is. This is where all the knowledge happens.
Oh, Reggie was asking about sound quality on the SS. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's a big difference for me. I would pick the SSL over the Scarlett. It's just a better audio card. So
Diamond Lee, he says, "Can you recommend a second mixer?" Yeah, I think we have, but for cheap wise, if it's just a mixer, I like the Yamaha, the MXG.
Yamaha's a great mixer.
Yeah, that's a great one, and it's pretty cheap. There's also Mackie has one, which is a smaller version.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a 2-channel, but it's USB, so you can still use it as a class compliant card. Yeah. And it's only I think like 100 and change. It's super cheap. $100. Yeah, it's a good one.
Let me grab it.
Yeah. Oh, she's got it. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to get it just to keep on my desk because it's a great alternative. Yep. Hold on. Let me go full screen on you.
Right.
No, hold on. I got you. So long. There we go. Yeah. So that's the one. Yeah. This one I think is probably should be, if not the top selling mixer out there. Because it really is a nice, affordable, easy to use, but USB compliant. The Yamaha at that size doesn't offer USB compliance. Yeah. So you have to get the 8-channel one or the 4, right?
Oh no, I'm sorry, not the 4. Wait, the FX4, the FX. Oh, Tweak Music put it up there. The FX6. It has a USB, and you could actually use the USB as your sound card if you wanted to.
Right, the FS6. There you go. You know, let's bring it up real quick. Hold on. We'll go to that.
Yeah, I used that once, but for some reason, when you bring it in, it brings it really low coming in. The audio card.
Right. What is it? It's the Mackie what?
FX6 or FX8 or FX8. Because I have the FX8 too.
Where is that guy? Oh, it's the Pro FX6. That's the one.
Oh, okay. So this is FX6.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me bring it up here. Okay. So this guy right here at 149.
Oh, that's the newer one.
This is the newer one.
That one. Saw that at
Yeah. This is a great little mixer. It's class compliant. It's got your 2 basically. So there's your stereo for your mixer. It's got XLR outs and 1/4-inch outs, which is unheard of with a mixer this size.
Yeah.
But it also has
It's a USB.
it has a USB out. There we go. Yeah, USB out, and it's class compliant. So you just plug it in, and your OBS will read it or anything. But 149, that's a hell of a price. Hell of a price. And I like the footprint. I like how small it is. That's the key. You know, because you only have so much room on your probably your stream area.
Yeah.
You know, like me. So I'm like, the smaller the better. Yeah. So so yeah, definitely great price. Everything's great about that thing. Okay. All right. So we'll keep on for a couple more. Let's see. Thanks. By the way, Thanks even has a 1/8 inch. Okay, I did not know that. So that's great. Yeah, 1/8 inch in 1/8 input too. So then you can put your phone through it, your iPad. You know, that's great. That's great. Okay. And also for a lot of people that don't know this, 2x4 table with the dog cage underneath. That's hilarious. uh, for a lot of people that don't know this, if you're using Serato, and I believe if you're using Virtual DJ, you know, they now both have their own little audio interfaces inside the box, so you can stream directly from Serato. Serato uses the iShow software, and it's a quick little plugin that you got to add in. But then you can stream right from within your computer, because for whatever reason, there's a lot of people out there that can only stream with one computer. Like they don't have the 2 computer thing. Yeah. So if that's the case, because I've done it myself, I did it on Saturday when I was DJing with my son, because we were outside. I'm like, I'm not bringing my ATEM. I'm not bringing a secondary computer. We don't have enough room. But if you're only streaming, you know, one camera, and an audio source, one computer is fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's only when you start adding in, you know, Streamlabs, you know, emote stuff and all the browser plugins and green screens. Yeah. And, you know, multiple cameras that you need that secondary computer or secondary whatever you're using. But if you're only streaming one camera, one audio source, you're good. You're good. You can use the computer in the box. So stuff like Serato, building that in there is easy. Makes it easy. Okay, so let's see. Jorge Blanco says, I have a SX2 and S11 going to Behringer Eurorack RX 1602 and connected to an iRig stream connected to PC. I know Behringer mixer might be overkill. I am planning on getting Behringer XR18 to replace. Yeah, the Eurorack doesn't have a USB interface. It's not. I mean, look, when you're going through the iRig stream, you're already losing quality anyway. So I don't think it matters that much. But again, if you're using, are you using a secondary computer? Or are you only using one computer? Because like I just said, if you're only using one computer, you could just use the iShow. You know, if you're using a Mac, another good one is if you don't want to use the iShow, is SpinStream. It takes the black hole, the open format, what's the word I'm looking for? Open code, whatever the open code is. I know there's a word for it.
I got to test out the iShow just to see for myself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it takes open source. Thank you. But it takes the open source and it puts a better wrapper on it. So black hole, it's called SpinStream, but it only works for Mac. But
is iShow embedded in this Serato?
iShow is embedded. Well, it's a secondary, it's a plugin install that you got to do. Yeah. But it's really quick. But it is embedded. But the only problem with it being embedded is you have to use the one computer. So if you're using something like SpinStream, you can run your USB right into it, and then you can still run it on your OBS computer.
Yeah, okay. You know? So it would make sense if you're just using, like you said, if you're using one computer, you got the iShow and you can see everything, like, and then you're not looking to switch out a lot of overlays or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just you, your face, a cam, and then you on the turntables.
Yeah, iShow is made by it's another company, but it's pretty much open source. But yeah, I believe Serato is working on having a native one. That's just in there. But for the time being, iShow is what they're using. And when it first came out, it was processor heavy. It's gotten better though. It's better now though. So loopback is not for everyone. It's not for everybody. Because it requires you to understand channel routing, and a lot of people don't really understand it, so they end up making more trouble for themselves than just going with something simple. Loopback is very powerful, but a lot of channel routing. That Tweak Music Tips will tell you. But yeah, I mean loopback. But if you're on a Mac and you're doing Mac stuff, SpinStream is like $20. It's super cheap, super cheap. Okay. Any more questions? All right. DJ Kid Wink says, if I'm considering spinning music videos, I can use only one computer, right?
No, you can, but I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
Ice did it in the beginning. The Mac ended up getting a second Mac. It burned out his video card.
There you go. Yeah, because the heat, too much heat in the box.
Well, it was getting hot. Computer turned off, got stuck. Oh man, it was like you cannot move. Just get another computer. And again, I don't recommend getting a Mac. You can get a secondary Mac, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you're doing video mixing, get a PC. I mean, for streaming, you can keep your Mac for DJ.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because I use because for anybody that's wondering, I mean, you can use like Serato Video, and then you just take your HDMI out of your DJ computer, run it through a capture card into the PC or Mac or whatever, and you're good. You're good. I was at one point during the year when you couldn't find capture cards. They were just almost impossible.
Oh
yeah. Took weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I actually went NDI for my video because I knew that I knew my video didn't have to be in sync. And guys, NDI is a whole nother animal. Yeah. You could spend 3 hours talking about NDI and how to get it to work properly. Yeah. But basically, NDI is, think about it like it's a networked it's basically a networked interface for your visual and audio communications. So NDI sends out a signal, and then the other NDI container, which is the other computer, can pick up that signal if they're networked together. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's mixed merging, but I did it the other way. I didn't have mixed mergency. I had a different software. I was just replying to these people in the chat with NDI. And then with NDI, like also with NDI is like you got to hardwire it to get it correctly.
Yes, you definitely have.
I was using a network switch so that everything was synced up correctly.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go. Yeah, you got to go Ethernet out. If you have like a mesh system, the mesh system will work because I had my router in my office, and then perfect. I just run. I run the Ethernet right into it because it just needs to talk within the box. It does. It's not about the signal quality, or the bandwidth. So much work. There were so many cables on my floor. So many cables in the beginning.
Same here.
So I couldn't do it anymore. But now that I have NDI in, it's easy to get back to it. But installing NDI is a little bit of work. It's a little bit of work to get it to talk properly.
You got to be really
have OBS. Yeah, you got to be tech nerd. And then you have to have OBS on both of them, because one OBS needs to talk to the other OBS. Like it's a lot.
You have to download all these NDI software to talk to each other and this and that.
Yes. Yep. I use mixed emergency and OBS through one computer. Look, Meister, nobody's saying it can't be done. Yeah. We're just saying that for a lot of people, telling them to go that route is going to cause more trouble. So we're looking at the best possible solution and the least amount of emails and DMs to my inbox saying, how come I can't get this to work? Well, this is why. Most people don't have super high-end stuff. Yeah. They're just using what they have. Yep. And so we need to make it as clean as possible. All right. Yeah. Nobody really understands NDI besides Mixmaster GNL. He's the tech guy that's in here. But it is free. It is free, and if you want to take the time, NDI works really well. But now you're in Geekville. Like you have to put your geek hat on. It's not something that you can just like download and just turn on. It doesn't work that way. Not with NDI.
There's so much stuff in Twitch. It's I'm still in the learning processing still, and like, but here's the thing, like how I catch, I don't know, it just comes to me, Cleveland, like learning all this stuff. It just comes naturally. It's not like, I know me and Mello had this talk. I was telling him, like him, like for Mello, it just like it comes naturally, like him being like so dope as a DJ. But he's lots of practice. But for me, it's just I just know, but it just came naturally. I've been knowing computers since I was young, since I was, like just getting in there and fixing things, and it's hard for me to like not comprehend, like hard for me to explain things sometimes. So it's actually better for me, like if I tell you how to do it, like pointing where to go, this and that.
Right. Yeah.
Cleveland could be my interpreter.
That's what I'm good at. But it's funny though, because you mentioned, it's what comes naturally to you, and everybody's got their thing. Like
talent,
talking comes naturally to me.
Right.
It's just something I'm good at. But everything else required and tech. That's kind of my thing. I'm a nerd. I just don't. I'm a
nerd.
And nerds are cool right now. So we all win a little bit. DJ Darth Vader is definitely a nerd. Definitely a nerd. Melody, the Morning Mob. The Morning Mob ain't bad. The Morning Mob is not bad. Morning Mob, not bad. I'm gonna put that one. I'm gonna check mark that one. Yeah. See, Meister, you said, but my computer runs with 32 gigs of RAM. So look, you're not the normal person. Most people, I kid you not, are probably running like 8 gigs of RAM, 512, megs of or gigs of storage. 512 gigs of storage. Yeah, 512 gigs of storage, and they got the base model. Yeah. A lot of people buy base model stuff. Yep. You're not base model, so you have to move yourself to a different area. Okay. Ecamm is easy to use NDI. Ecamm dumbs it down for you, but Ecamm is also a little processor heavy, and Ecamm is I like Ecamm. I really do. Ecamm is Mac only for a lot of people that don't know. It has a fantastic interface. It's basically what a Mac interface should be like. Ecamm has, but Ecamm does some dumb stuff too. I use Ecamm all the time. I used it before they went into their interview module, like we're doing here on StreamYards. But they used to use Skype. But anytime I would bring anybody on via OBS or Zoom or any of that type of stuff, it was processor crazy. So I just couldn't use it. And now their interview module, as good as it is, it has a limit. So for instance, like we've been on, it's 12:30. Okay. I've been on here since 9:35. We've been streaming for 2+ hours. Ecamm's module only gives you a maximum of 100 hours a year, and then you have to pay more for it. So I'm like, why? I'm going to hit that thing in a few months. Like, that's just silly. So I would love to go back to Ecamm, but that's just dumb. But Ecamm has a great piece of software for streaming. It's OBS without the details. It hides everything for you. But the one thing you can't do with Ecamm that you can do with OBS is you have a separate window that you can make changes in and push it over without people seeing it. You can't do that in Ecamm. Ecamm does not have a secondary window. Talk about an OBS where you can split it up. I forget what it's called. Studio mode. So, and a lot of people don't use studio mode, but studio mode is invaluable in OBS. It's one of my favorite parts of it. So if you're in studio mode, you have your real-time box and then you have your kind of staging box. Even though, did you know what I'm talking about, by the way? Gene?
About the box. Like,
Yeah. So I'm gonna show people what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That way we're all on the same
So when I look at it,
page.
I'll let you know.
Yep. Application window. Okay. All right. Hopefully it doesn't screw me up here. Okay. So this is what normal people look at. One big box with everything in it. But if you click on studio mode, it splits the box up. So you have your program mode and your preview mode. Now, these two can be one and the same. So let's see if I have anything up here. It's showing me here. Okay. So I'll take my little side view here. Now,
what was the question for the preview and the I'm sorry, I got lost when I lost in the chat room. So what?
No, so I'm telling people the difference between Ecamm and OBS. One of the features that's really important.
Yeah.
So let's transition. Hold on.
Studio mode's great. I use this all the time.
Where is that stupid thing at? I was just on it. Got the floor. Okay, things I don't care about. Okay. It's fine. We'll just keep it this way for now. We'll keep that. Okay. So that's funny. You can see me in the green screen. It's trying to green screen me in. Okay. So this is your program window. This is what the world is seeing right here. Okay. But let's say, for instance, you screwed up and you had to put in somebody's name. So you went in and you said, let's throw in some text. And I put up my text. You can't see this because the window's not popping up, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. All right, test. And now, right now, there's a box that's up. Okay. This is, okay. So now, again, people still only see this program side right here. When I'm ready, I can hit the transition, move it over. And now everybody sees this. But let's say, for instance, I misspelled something. I can go back into here and just change this out. If it's in the wrong place, I can move it down here, hit the transition again, and it moves down there. So this is the kind of stuff that you can do. You can't do this in Ecamm. So if you're doing any type of interviews, if you need to throw things up, everything that you're doing, if you want to throw up some text, everything you're doing is being seen by the world in Ecamm. And that's my biggest issue with it. I love the program, but it just does some things that are silly. Like if I want to throw up, oh, Gene Hove in the house, I can't just put Gene Hove in the house without everybody seeing me type in Gene Hove in the house. And that's not professional. So that's the only reason why I still have my issues with Ecamm. But Ecamm, like I said, it does dumb down everything. So things like NDI, and the reason why they needed NDI, and it doesn't make it easy with NDI. Jim and I want to clarify this. It makes using things like Skype NDI easy. And Skype NDI is super easy. Skype's NDI is built in. You just have to go into the advanced page, turn it on, and you're good. We're talking about like video NDI and secondary audio source NDI. Those types of things require a lot more work. But just for Skype, easy. It is easy.
You've used it.
Exactly. All right. Let's see if there's any more questions, and then we should probably send people over somewhere else. I know they've had fun, but and I'm more impressed that there's still so many people on here. When you start talking really nerdy, some people are like, "Oh, I'm checking out."
What up, Swedish Ash? Wow, Swedish Ash. Oh, I want to say shout out to all my mods, because my mods are like, they've been helping me out in my channels.
Yeah, mods are so important. They really are. Yeah, a lot of people. I don't want to say take them for granted, but they don't see a value in them. A lot of people are like, I'll just do my own. There is absolutely no way I could do this show without having mods, because I can't talk to you, focus on you, bring up screens, and make sure people know, oh, share the stream, and all. Like I can't do that. So thank you. Tweak Music Tip. Let's chat today. Is that for me? If that's for me, yeah, I'll call you afterwards. Or is he talking about DJ Stress? See, look, Tweak Music Tip always doing business in my chat.
What up, stress? Thank you. Jetpack bags. Thanks for my bag.
Yeah, jetpack. Yeah, I'm working on something for jetpack.
Nice.
I make jokes about it and stuff, but like literally, they're fam and jetpack just they have a good product. I think that's just as important. Feedback, Revenge of the Nerds. You're all just jealous because nerds are in.
That's right.
Nerds are in, man. I'm sorry. We're the commodity. They want us. All right, so I think Carmel, it will be on YouTube. If you missed the beginning, you can check it out there.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And also if you are subscribed to my Twitch channel, all of my videos are only subscriber only on that. So, but thank you so much. Trust me,
I want to say one thing though. I want to say like with all the Twitch stuff, I learned a lot actually from a lot of stuff from Cleveland, like knowing some of the basics from his YouTube. So if you want to know a lot of stuff, like go to those old videos from OBS. Cleveland Terry, man. That's why I started to expand a little bit more and then know about Twitch. And this is in the beginning when everyone's starting to jump on.
Thank
So
you.
I
appreciate that.
And I appreciate
Yeah.
I appreciate what you do for the
like I tell people this all the time. I mean, I made that video not knowing on YouTube when you make videos, there's certain videos that okay, if I talk about this, I know the numbers are going to be high. But I was talking about streaming. I had no idea what if people were actually interested in it. I just knew that I was learning and there were things that I was learning and then people were asking me and I was just like, I'm honestly tired of having to go through the same thing. Let me just make a video on this so then I can just refer people. Hey, go here, go here, go here. And next thing you know, those videos just skyrocketed. It was just like the perfect time for those videos. So they've been great for me. And I'm glad I can help, honestly. Because this is what this is about. This is what quarantine is about. If you haven't noticed, you've noticed, it's about helping people. It's about connecting with the DJ community. And we're all in this together. So it just makes for a much better experience. And I don't know what I would have been like if this didn't exist. Like, and not even like Facebook, YouTube, or IG.
Right.
If Twitch didn't exist, I have no idea where I would be right now, or the community that I would have built would have been completely different.
Right.
Completely different. So if we end up staying on Twitch, DJ wise, I mean, everything else, like this talk show can stay on Twitch. But if for whatever reason they're like, okay, DJs, you got to go somewhere else, and then we all end up on Mixcloud or somewhere else, you can't take away this experience. This has been an amazing experience being on Twitch. And I mean, throw it in the chat, guys. Let me know. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, at what point? I mean, like, I know some Beat Junkies people, like Chalk and and people like that. But at what point would have literally run into Melody? Melody would be hanging in a stream that I'm putting on. At what point would that happen? You know what I mean? Like, the community is so tight now, and it's literally shrinking, by the minute, that you have to just appreciate, what this is. Just take a moment, stop, and think about, like, wow, because of Twitch, I was able to do X, Y, and Z. And this is for everybody in there. For you, because of Twitch, you got a job, working for Scam Artist. Prior to Twitch, I don't know that would have been the case.
No.
You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah. So there's a lot of little, yeah, you got to look at the positives. Yeah. You really do. Yeah, because of Twitch fill in the blank says feedback. Exactly.
And like, I mean, I never thought, I mean, I've known Mello for a while. We're good friends, but man, I never thought I'd be helping him with Twitch stuff. Yeah. Melody, DJ Homicide. I'm like, man, but he hasn't streamed yet. But
I know. I was gonna say, I'm like, when's Homicide even coming on?
Gonna stream. He's gonna stream, and then I mean, helping him get all his stuff ready. And then Shortcut would hit me up with tech issues. What's this? Why is this? Internet. That's why I was trying to go into the basics so that you guys won't have this issue. Like what me and Cleveland are telling you is like, dude, you do this stuff, do it like how we're telling you, because we've learned it
Failure.
from failure. Yes, exactly. So this will help you much better on your guys' streams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look, I mean, DJ Clientele says, yeah, I've been using OBS for a few years, and the settings that I learned about today will make my stream much better. Yeah, just because you're in it doesn't mean that you really know the ins and outs, and that's like my job with like when I review mixers and hardware and all that stuff.
Mhm.
People will be like, "Oh, I have that mixer." It's like, yeah, you have this mixer, but you've never gone into the details like I
Right.
have. And,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. We go into the details and figure out what's the best for you. And look, this isn't necessarily for power users either. We can definitely do power user stuff, but most people just want a solid stream, a stream that doesn't fail on them. And like, for instance, with me right now, my stream has been sucking, not this one, but because California has been having internet issues, Spectrum, and it's been screwing up my stream. But besides that, there's so many little things, and I made a conscious decision to move away from OBS, but
Mhm.
I still use OBS all the time. But the ATEM just works better for me right now. But if I needed to go back to OBS, definitely can't. I mean, I can't do any of my, like I had a whole hour-long Matrix DJ video where I DJ'd within the Matrix movie. Super fun, super cool, a lot of work, but I can't do that with the ATEM. I need to be in there, and I'm seriously considering buying that cheap ass computer because my old 2012 MacBook, it's just not keeping up anymore. I think, just like you said, I think my video card might be damaged in it now because it's struggling all the time now, and the fan is basically I plug in OBS and the fans just kick on like full speed. So I think it's getting a little hot and it's throttling down. It is what it is. All right, so yeah, EA says it's funny how Twitch was originally made for gaming, but not anymore. No, not anymore. And again, we're such a small little factor of Twitch. I don't want people to think that we're like, we came in here, coming in like a gang. We're not. We're like 1/8 of their entire stream community. We're nothing.
They're not. There's so much gamers out there.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
with us, there's the ceiling's still high for all the DJs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if we're here, if we're somewhere else, whatever, I think as long as we stick together, and I think Twitch has shown us that we can stick together. So if we continue to do that, it doesn't matter where we go. If it's not Twitch, as long as we stick together, we can bring everybody with us,
Right.
and that's the key. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else going on here? DJ Wayne, thank you so much. Jorge, new PC or ATEM? I think I answered that question. We went through a huge detail, and if you don't know, like you came in late, just watch the replay because we spent a lot of time on the ATEM and the PC, and they both have their pluses and minuses. So it just depends on what you want to do. Yeah, we talked about Streamlabs also. Let's see here. Anything else? DJ Flaves, that's good. That's good. Can't wait to see you on here. By the way, guys, if you are going live or you're thinking about going live or you're working out your live stuff, get on my Discord. Mods, throw my Discord link in the chat. Because in my Discord, and it's like, I know every DJ in the world has a Discord now, but in my Discord, it's not just for Twitch. I throw all my YouTube stuff on there, my Twitch stuff, and more importantly, there is all of my tech stuff. So if anybody has any questions, they can post there. If I can't answer it, somebody will be able to, and then the question gets answered. So it's plus for me.
I'll be in there.
There you go. But also for all of you new streamers out there is a promote your streams section. So anytime you're streaming, just hop in there, post your stream. I try to make it a point to try to watch everybody's stream, even if it's 5-10 minutes. I try to get on there, just say what's up, show my support, and then I'm off to the next one. But please throw them in the stream, and because we're, like I said, we're all trying to support one another, and my mine is different because it's centralized. I have so many places that I'm doing stuff on. I needed a centralized place that I could kind of pull all of the comments. So yeah, get on my Discord. All right. Let's see here. Anything else? Anything else? I still don't know what to do with Discord or what it really is. Think of it like a community board, like the old school community boards that we used to use
Forums.
back in the day. Old school forums. It's basically a personalized forum that is also attached, because Discord is the think of Discord as the tree, and then we are all the branches in the tree. Okay. But yes, once you get it to where it makes sense for you, it's a lot easier. When you first get into Discord, you're like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But there's a lot of cool features with Discord. Okay. Okay. One more question. True School says, why does my OBS start distorting after 1.5 hours?
What computer are you using?
Yeah,
I got diagnostic right now.
Yeah, that's like 90% of it all. Even without them saying it, I have a feeling that if it's distorting after 1.5 hours, your processors are kicking in, and chances are it's your computer's throttling back, and that's why you're distorting. Yeah. Because if your internet, unless something happens at 1.5 hours where like everybody in their mama pops on your internet, there's no reason for that. So the distortion sounds like a processing issue,
a hardware issue.
Yeah.
Mac. Yeah. Oh, there you go. What year Mac? Well, I know I'm not gonna say anything. Oh, and PC. So PC is your streaming. Has to be the streaming. But what type of PC?
Wait, no. I know you said so hold on. You said I've used both.
Oh, okay.
So it happens to both of them at 1.5 hours. Are you doing green screen and visuals and all that stuff? Is it possible that he's filling up his RAM, and now his RAM is being shared with his hard drive, and that's slowing down his computer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Wait. So you said over 100. So your uploads is 100 megabits per second too? That's probably your download. How about your upload speed?
Yeah. It sounds like throttling.
Throttling?
Yeah. 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 And at one point we will get to a point, if it happens to both, is the room you're in super hot? I mean, there's so many little issues, but if it's happening both to the PC and the Mac, it seems like something is generating too much heat.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he has uploads over 100. So he said it's heating up.
Yeah. I'm on Sonic.
It might be the settings in the OBS.
But after an hour and a half? Just randomly after an hour and a half? Yeah.
It doesn't sound
good. Yeah.
It has to be the hardware.
Yeah. Yeah. So DJ, what would be the best way to stream green screen and cool? Yeah. So DJ Wayne, we went through that in detail. Watch the replay. The replay we'll talk about that, because we have been on for a long time.
We can go on forever with this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not talking about internet throttling. We're talking about your computer throttling. Yeah. What you should honestly do is open up your activity monitor, and when you're streaming, and when it starts to crop out, take a look at what's happening internally and see what's happening. If you can run a heat monitor, I would do that too. There's a lot of freeware heat monitors out there, and just see, because it's something happening internally in the computer. We don't know why, but yeah, it's got to be that.
Yeah.
And if it's happening on both, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what it is? I had that problem before with when I first started. It
Hmm.
was the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the memory. You probably have so much stuff running in the background. Applications. We had that talk. Yeah, rewind back to the video. We talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, DJ the Fourth. Yeah, we talked about that. Some of us aren't as cool and don't have PCs, so that's on you. So yeah, DJ Paris says mine's been doing that too. Shout out to DJ Paris Paul. Make sure you follow DJ Paris Paul.
Very
That's
small.
another one of the Snapback crew and Check 1 2 crew. So make sure you follow him. Also, get up on the merch. Paris Paul, the Check 1 2 crew, we have our own merch. So if the merch link is in there, drop the merch link in the chat. I never do a good enough job of promoting a type of merch because that's just not my style. But I got to get better at it. Anyway, yeah. Paris, we talked about that PC in detail, and then the one you recommended. So, yeah, we are. You have to use a cooling. Yeah, cooling platform. Keep it elevated. Like if you have a laptop stand, throw it on there. That way, the bottom is not being closed, or wherever your vents are
Air coming
still
in. Yeah.
open. Yeah, you're allowing for that air to come in. Make sure that there's not a whole bunch of dust in your room and it's sucking, all through it. There's just so many little reasons why you could have problems. My laptop was 100% a heat issue. It would get too hot in the room. Processors were running, they throttle down, and then I start having problems. So yeah, or just get a block of ice from your. I'm kidding. Don't do that. um, all right, guys. So, guys, if you found this useful, what I need you to do is throw the wake up emotes in the chat. Throw the wake up emotes in the chat. If you don't have the wake up emotes, throw the fix it Gene emotes in the chat. And if you don't have either one of ours, then you need to subscribe. So throw those in the chat. Hit the ones in the chat. If you don't have any of those, I would be very disappointed in you guys. But throw them in the chat if you found this useful. It better be, man. I'm tired. I'm hungry. This thing went longer than I expected.
I'm so hungry. My stomach's from.
So, all right. See, now there's the fix it Gene emotes.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I appreciate this Twitch community. I see everyone I know in here.
Yeah,
And you already know I know names.
Yeah, it's been a good time. It's been
Yeah.
a good time, and I honestly appreciate. It's oh, thank you. One of the best tech episodes. Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
yeah, only the best for you guys. That's all I do. Okay, so we need to see who we're going to raid.
I love all you guys. Thanks for supporting me in Cleveland throughout all our Twitches.
Honestly, I mean, who would have thought? I didn't know what was going to happen when I started this wake up show. Because before I think everybody was operating. Okay, we're all DJs, so let's all go DJ. And then you go DJ, and then you're like, I kind of want to do more. And then you try to figure out who you are, and it just made sense. I was watching people, and I'd wanted to do some sort of a talk show because I started one on my YouTube channel, and it was just a quick tech show. I did it a couple times, and then I was like, I put it to the side, and then I was watching other people like Tweak Music Tips and all these people, and I'm just like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I still DJ, obviously. I DJ nonstop. I mean, I've been practicing left and right. But this is what I wanted to do. So when I started this thing up, I had no idea what to expect. It started out with like 20 people, so on and so forth. Now, we're averaging, 100 plus on the stream every time. So I appreciate everybody because, without you guys, who knows?
Yeah.
This would not happen. Yeah. All right. So let me just pop on. Let's see who we got here.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. I have not rated Aiden Scott in a while. You know what? Let's rate Aiden. We haven't rated Ada in a while.
Let's go.
All right.
Everyone, support your DJs out there. Follow each other. Even the chat.
Definitely follow each other. Yes. All right. Let me pull up my Twitch stream. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I would rate Angie, but she's got 929 people on. I think she's fine without me this time. Raiden Scott.
Nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you more. Well, that's another story. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. There's more. I have a lot of Twitch tips, but we'll talk about that later offline.
Oh, well, I rated her. I rated her on Monday.
Yeah.
There's definitely some political stuff in Twitch, and you definitely want to be smart about who you raid.
Yep.
But I also want to like share the love. Yeah, there we go. There's Aiden.
There you go.
All right. Okay.
Nice.
Cool. All right, y'all. We are setting up this raid right now. Make sure you hang through. And right now, we're raiding Aiden. Raiding Aiden. Right now, we don't have a name for you guys yet. It could be the morning mob, could be the wake up crew. We're gonna vote on that.
I like those names.
Yeah, I like them both. I like them both. So we're gonna work on both of them right now and see. We'll raid Unique next time. I like to share the love. That's kind of the key here. I like to share the love. Not the Terriers, the Force. We're not doing that. All right, y'all. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out today. Really, really appreciate you. Gene, honestly, thank you for hanging out. We're not doing Nerd Squad Paris Paul. This has been fantastic, and I appreciate you for hanging out. Wake Up Crew already got the emote. We do have the emote for Wake Up Crew already. It's already there. Wake up. You're right. All right. It might end up being there. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow I'll be streaming 1:00 after on a raid. But we'll see you soon. Peace out. All right, let's